shoes last night to see if he was barefoot. Is that still the case? Is he barefoot? Because I know on Facebook somebody posted a picture of these could be his shoes, or is that so he is presumed to be barefoot at this point?
What I can say is that his mom says all of his shoes are accounted for at the house. I'm not going to say that he's barefoot.
All right.
Allegedly!
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. Here's a brief disclaimer for tonight's show. Let's watch.
That's ignorant! Allegedly, that's ignorant! Ignorant!
Judgment, Alfred.
Chloe, you read my thoughts. You've got the shinin.
You mean shining?
Shh! You wanna get sued?
Judgment, Alfred.
You just use that shin of yours to call me and I'll come a running. But don't be reading my mind between 4 and 5. That's Willie's time.
Hey, yo, Bob. I love it when he does that.
Let's watch.
Don't get me back to good bullshit.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. And it's so good to see all of you guys tonight. Hey Chi-Chi, thanks for being here. Women's Warrior, thanks for being here as well and hitting that like button. Hey Cheryl, good to see you. And Kiki, good to see you as well. We have Cheryl here tonight and Town Chat Cafe, good to see you. And we also have Lisa King. Hey Lisa King. And let me see here, Ann Reynolds. So good to see you, Ann, and thank you for hitting the like button. I'm sorry you're having internet troubles. I know, are you guys having storms? Because I know some people were kind of having some stormy weather, I heard. Hey, Jasmine girl, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I'm not too fond of him myself, I'll tell you that. Which I'm not against police officers, just don't like the way that he's handled things at all. Hey, Peggy. I feel like they dropped the ball in the beginning. They didn't treat Sebastian's case as they should have, and they didn't investigate the way they should have, in my opinion. Now, that's a very humble opinion since I'm, not an officer myself, and I'm not familiar with the training or anything it takes to be an officer, but I do know about crime scenes and how they're usually handled. And in Sebastian's case, they were operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off, and that's a major issue in the case, because if they would have looked at it from every angle from the beginning, I think they would have had a better outcome, and I think we would have Sebastian back by now. I think he would have been found. Hey, Lori, thank you so much for being here and hitting the like button. Good to see you. And hey, SI officer, good evening. Thanks for being here. And let's see, guys. I see Lisa King. I love your thumbnail. I was listening to Mob Crew and I heard that and I said, I need to find a lady that's like jumping over a ditch, right? Because I mean, it's been said plenty of times that Katie jumped over the ditch, right? That the neighbors saw it on the camera and that someone had jumped over. Well, it had to have been Katie if we're putting all the pieces together in logical order as we should when we look at a case. So that's it's very interesting, and we're gonna listen to Mob Crew tonight. We're gonna review his live. That's Chris from Mob Crew. Um, and he is really awesome. He's done a lot in the Sebastian Rogers case, and so when he comes out and speaks on it, I'm all ears, and I'm usually in the bushes taking notes. And tonight I was kind of listening in. We're also going to talk about Devlin Tait, and I'm still working on putting together all of the information that I'm gathering. So, um, we will be discussing more about Devlin Tait as well. Hey, Bonnie's Journeys. So tonight, that's the plan. Yeah, totally dropped the ball by treating it like, it's a runaway. So I agree with that. It's beautiful here. Oh my gosh, Lori, it's beautiful. I'm gonna take a day trip to Key Largo tomorrow because Nate has to drop off a trailer and he said, do I want to come with him down there? So I said yes, but there's apparently like a 6 mile bridge to cross, and I didn't know that. And until much later, because I'm like, "Oh, they're islands, so there must be a bridge to cross." So, I don't know. Good thing I'll have Django with me, so he'll make me feel better, but I don't know. I'm not too happy about that. So, no storms with over there either, Kiki. That's good, Miss Ann. I'm glad you guys aren't dealing with any kind of storms or anything. The burner, right, the burner phone is another thing that I put in the title because I think it's crazy, right? That they're bringing that up now because Seth talked about the burner phone a long time ago. So, is it a 7 mile bridge? Oh Lord. Music Tourette's 22. Uh-oh. I might just sit in the back seat and look on my phone or something, watch something on my phone. So, um, yeah, he goes to the ocean. He likes the beach, but he doesn't like the water very much. Like he likes sitting down there, but he doesn't touch it. Yeah, he doesn't and it's Django. So I named him after the only Western movie that I really enjoy because Nate likes Westerns. It's not my thing. But that's what I named him is Django from Django Unchained. The D is silent. So that was a brutal movie. SI, they're trying to definitely trying to put the spotlight on Seth. Yeah, and it's not going to work. They're doing that from the beginning, and I have to say, I don't know how they figure that Seth could be involved or that he was on camera sleeping for 2 hours and nobody, said anything to him. Hey, Brenda Smith. So I've always found that to be very untrue. I was also a part of Terry Lynn's community back then, and Mrs. Jones was in the chat a lot. And when Terry Lynn started that, they were, she's talking about Jay Jones, in my opinion. She's talking about Jay Jones, and Jay Jones is one of Seth's good friends. So, they're trying to say that he had something to do with it or whatever. And I don't think that's true, you know? The beach is so nice. I haven't been in like maybe a month. It's been a little while since we went to the beach, Bonnie. It's so nice though. Um, oh, good music, Tourette's. Thank you. I'm like so nervous. It's been a while, like since I've been on a bridge, and the one in Kentucky was very scary at night that we went over last. So when we were driving down here last year. So. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sandy says we at first had people say there was a phone in her pocket and watching Chris with mom, and other night you could see it. Yeah, and see that's the thing. I mean, Chris has done such great work, and there's a piece in here that he talks about how when he was putting out the footage and things like that, that he had other people and locals in the community reaching out to him, right? Because obviously, like we talked about yesterday on the day show, because I didn't have a night show, but we talked about it in the last live that I did, that I mean, it's just one of those things where they're trying to say that, Katie doesn't have much to do with it. Um, but she was the last one there. We have the lights video, right? And then the neighbor also saying that there was a car that pulled onto Kellen, and it would have been this car because we know about the cars in the neighborhood. Um, Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys, if you could hear Django clicking around. Um, so this vehicle, right, which people are calling it like the silver sedan is usually what we call it, but pulled on to Stafford and tripped off the motion sensor lights, right? So we were talking about that. And we've talked about that a lot because there's a lot that they're trying to say in terms of, that, because here's the thing. I'm not saying that Sebastian couldn't have used a phone, a burner phone to make a call, but where did he get it from, right? Did he buy it off of a buddy at school? I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't do that, but where did he get it from? And they've tried to blame it on Seth, right? From the very beginning, in my opinion. And whenever that all went down, I remember Mrs. Jones getting very upset and never coming back to Terry Lynn's chat again, and um, I really didn't understand everything, and I didn't know that Terry Lynn was a liar. You know what I mean? So I kind of took her side on it and didn't really do my own research, which I should have. Right? I probably should have just emailed Seth at Sebastian's Army. We are Sebastian's Army at gmail.com. That's what I should have done. And I didn't. I just followed Terry Lynn because I was like, she's doing the most for Sebastian. She's putting out flyers, you know, and I should have, really looked into that further, right? Because I don't think Seth had anything to do with it. Twitch, I don't. And if I did think Seth had anything to do with it, I certainly wouldn't go down there and help him pass out flyers, you know? I mean, I might go down there still for Sebastian, because here's the thing about Pigfest is that they don't want us to go there and wear Sebastian's t-shirts or spread awareness about him. He's still missing. And you're going to have a town festival when there's a kid missing and not say anything about it? when there's people that are willing to take time out of their day and their lives and go there and pass out flyers and you tell them that they can't, what's the problem, right? We want justice for Sebastian. We want the truth. We want answers, right? And with Seth being on camera um, all night long, he would have had to have used his badge to get into the area where his truck was, right? And then he would have been on camera in that parking lot, where he in the parking garage more like, right? And Davidson County Jail is a state of the art new facility, right, that they built. Hey, Meow, good to see you. And so everything was brand new. Everything was in tip-top, condition because it's new. Hey, Christmas Swan, good to see you. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I put the notification out a little bit late, and also I'm early tonight because I have to wake up early tomorrow. Because we're gonna leave out at like 7 o'clock in the morning, guys, and I'm like, you know, and you want me to go over a bridge. But no, I've never been to an island before like that. So I was like, yeah, I'll go. I'll definitely go. Why not? And Krista says, oh, Seth's 2 phones are under contract. He didn't have a burner. Exactly. Just was said by a creator how didn't do sorry, who didn't do research at all. She's spreading rumors and misinformation. I agree with that, Krista. Thanks for being here. And I think that, you know, Seth mentions that he has 2 phones, and he's mentioned it a couple of times. And he watches creepypasta to go to sleep. So I myself have 2 phones. It is not a burner phone. It's my old iPhone. You guys have seen it before because I would show you guys stuff on it back when I was so new to making my lives and stuff. But like I would be, because sometimes I just use my avatar like I am tonight. But like whenever I do show myself and I would be showing you guys my phone, that the other one that's chunkier that has a big otter box on it and it's purple, that's my old phone. This is just my old phone. It doesn't have service anymore, but I can do everything on it. And as a matter of fact, I've been working on transferring apps over there so I don't have to have them on my main phone because I don't have any room. And my other phone is a little bit has more storage on it, and they didn't have that one available when I bought my other phone, and I'm about to upgrade anyway. So I also have an iPhone. That one's an 11. This one's like a 14. And that's the one that I have like my mama bear button on and stuff. That's my phone that's actually under a contract with Verizon, right? So, and it's paid off. Recently it got paid off. And so I have 2 phones. That doesn't mean I have a burner phone. If my daughter was younger and I said, "Hey, Livy, here's this phone," and I give it to her, my burner phone, we'll say, my extra phone, like all she has to do is hook to Wi-Fi to use it, right? But otherwise, it's, not under any type of a contract or anything. So it's not a burner phone. It's still registered to me. I purchased this other phone through either Verizon or Sprint. I switched over from Sprint. Hey, Scranton, you know what I'm saying? So them saying that is bullshit. That's all it is them trying to act like, oh, he's got 2 phones. Oh. So what does that mean? I mean, I hate to even give them the time of day, really, because it is nonsensical, right? It's absurdity. And SI officer says they want no attention, no help brought to him for him, any of it. Right. I know. That's very clear, SI officer, and it's sad. They don't want to acknowledge him at all, and they're done with him. And it's very freaking, in my very freaking humble opinion, and then some. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, Chris wants to go on panels and not talk about Sebastian. He made fun of Seth the same. I mean, he made fun of Seth, and it was the same week that Seth was out there, right? So that it was that weekend that Seth was out there at the police station, right? And he's trying really, really hard to get them to go search for Sebastian, give him an update, do something. He probably wants the prod feed arrested, if I could take a wild guess. He wants whoever's responsible to pay for it, but most of all, he wants his son found, you know? He wants his son found. So they're making fun of him when he's trying to find his son, you know? Yeah, I think that I don't think they can stop us from wearing the shirts. That's why, I mean, and even if somebody wore a t-shirt and pinned Sebastian's flyer to their t-shirt, that should be okay as well, right? So, Sandy says I have two phones. Yeah, yeah. Gina says I confronted someone heavily involved in Pigfest. She said Andy Gilly isn't like that. I said, well, tell him to show you the email he sent. Right, exactly. Well, that's true. See, those are the things that are solid proof, right? That somebody said something, you know. Hola, Holly S. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Music Tourette says I have two phones. Yeah, and it's handy for like when I'm creating videos and stuff because I can have that app on both of these phones and I can be working on a couple of things at once. So that's nice. But my one iPhone just doesn't have as much storage. And that's why I do it, too. And I don't know. It's really ridiculous, or you use it for games. I do too. I have all my app games on my other phone. Yeah. If you're not allowed to wear a t-shirt displaying his name and they refuse you entrance, then you've got a problem and it'll be there soon. Well, and if that does happen, SI officer, because I thought about that, I kind of try not to think about the worst case scenarios, but I want to be realistic. And, if they say that, I can't wear the shirt or we're not allowed to wear the shirts, then, I think it's a good idea to kind of find a public spot out there and start passing out flyers out there, and just dedicate the time to that because but I don't see how they could tell someone not to wear a shirt, you know so Scranton Strangler says, I have two phones. My main one was cell service and the other one just for videos, music through Wi-Fi. Nothing nefarious about having two phones. Oh gosh, I hope not, Scranton, because I've had two phones for a while. And I actually have my other iPhone that I had a long time ago, but it doesn't hold battery charge. Like it just dies, like the battery is bad on it. But I still have it because I have stuff saved on it, like I save everything. I'm a pack rat like that. I have a whole storage to prove it. But it's mostly a trauma response because of people that are such bold-faced liars, and you have to, push it back in their face when when they try to lie or say something to the contrary. You're like, oh well, here's the paper to prove it. And would you like that digitally or would you like a hard copy? Because I have both, So, oh, Holly S, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Or super chat. Aw, that's so cute. Thank you. Um, I'll be wearing my lime green Sebastian hoodie proudly. Yeah, me too. Me too. I can't wait to see yours because I have the hunter green one, but I really love it. Like it's really nice. I'm excited. So let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, well, they need to allow for us to at least, wear the shirts. Yeah, it's so bad what Chris did that night, right? Disgusting, Scranton. In my opinion, it screams volumes as to how they feel about Sebastian. Even more gross. Katie endorsed him doing it. Well, she doesn't stop him from doing it. I wouldn't let him go on there, I'd be like, how about we not do that? I mean, I get you can't stop somebody from doing something, so I'm not saying Katie could stop him from doing it. If he really wanted to do it, he'll do it. But, you know, I mean, I would frown upon it. Um, it would probably make me divorce him. Like, I would leave. I'd be like, you know what? Screw this. I'm not going to put up with that crap. You're not going to make a clown show of my son's case, you know? So, hey, Brenda, thanks for being here. Thank you so much. They can't refuse you entrance because you're closed. I don't think so either, Lori. That's against our right to wear the hell whatever the hell we want to, you know? I mean, so I know I got your email, Woman's Warrior. I got it. Yes, girlfriend. I know. It's awful. Well, here's the thing. They want us just to get outraged about it and da da da. And you know, they're a bunch of jerks. That's what they are. They're a bunch of jerks. And you know, they want to blame Seth. Well, that's I mean, it's ridiculous. It is. It's crazy to think that law enforcement wouldn't have already popped him. If he did something, they would have got him, you know? So, um, he wouldn't be standing outside the police station. He would have been cuffed by now, you know? I know. I'd love to have buttons. I'm making ribbons. One night we'll just sit here and I'll talk and we'll make ribbons for Pig Fest because I got ribbons and I need to make, you know, the bow. I don't know what to call it, awareness ribbon, you know, the crisscross. So, but that's what I was gonna pass out. I don't know if anybody would get mad at me for giving those away, and it's just a green ribbon for Sebastian. You know, usually people are that's what's so weird. Usually people are fine with stuff like that. I can't believe I have to, you know, do this because, you know, I wanted to go with Betty when she does her the 2 year, you know, heaven forbid. I don't want Sebastian to be missing that long, but I mean, I'd rather plan for something like that than have to do fundraising efforts because they don't want us to do it because the people that were supposed to go down there and do it, they don't want them to. So I want to stand with everybody that wants to do that now because of the way that they've acted. Like they shouldn't be doing that. Hey, Heather Marie from Indiana, good to see you. You know, so it's crazy. Gina says one of the main sponsors went to Hunter's Lane where CP went to school. Yeah, they all know each other. They all know each other. Hey, Kiki. You know, I mean, it's just like Live Love Nashville, you know, providing snacks and meals for the searchers. They provided 2 meals, a lunch and a dinner, right? I think they're still together, Brenda Calvert, if you're talking about Chris and Katie. Yeah, I think they are. I think they're stuck together. I think those two are stuck and they know it too, and they're just like, ugh, you know, which whatever, that sucks. Sucks to be them. Carla, good to see you. Hey, Cinderella. I really want a Sebastian's armband. Where can I get some? You know, I know it was like super expensive to ship all of that stuff. But I know it was in the beginning, people had them. Um, I haven't checked in to see how much it would be to get like to do some green wristbands, you know, but I hate to sell them. You know what I mean? I wish I could just give them out to people. So you will be respectful so they can't say shit. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. You know, everybody that I'm planning on going with that I've talked with, we're gonna keep it classy, San Diego, right? Keep it classy, Hendersonville. Because that's the way it should be. It's not a fight. We're not trying to fight or blame anybody. We want people to know about Sebastian. That's a good opportunity to get a lot of people, you know, and if they don't want to, you know, let us in or they want to be as, you know, stinkers about it, I don't know. We'll figure out a way to spread awareness. I mean, hell, like I showed you guys on the unboxing, the t-shirts, the hoodies, those are like walking billboards right there. We're walking billboards and the purse, everything. So, and it's a travel bag. I call it a purse, but it's a purse to me because I'm a woman. I carry a purse. C and K are guilty of something, so we have to wait after summer. I don't see them solving the case. I know, musical Tourette's, and it does make me sad when I think about that, you know. They need to give up jurisdiction. They need to have somebody step in and take a fresh set of eyes and put it on the case because, you know, the problem is that even when we're going back over these interviews, we find them in major inconsistencies, Chris and Katie, you know, and it's it's more than frustrating, especially because we're catching them in lies left and right, you know? So, oh, I'm sure CP hates it more than KP, but hey, it didn't stop him from meeting women online before. I'm sure it's not stopping him now. Well, they do have an I mean, I've heard that they have kind of an open relationship, which, you know, so yeah, Seth does have them for anybody who goes. That's right, Sandy, he does. He does, and he's got some t-shirts too, so, um, you know, come on out. If you guys can come out, please do. Hey, Joe Neal. Joe, that's a sore subject. You know that's a sore subject. That son of a gun, he hasn't gotten back to me, you know. That's all right. We'll just keep on trucking. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun, Women's Warrior. I just want Seth to feel supported. I want Seth to feel supported. I want my friends there to feel supported. Most of all, I want Sebastian to feel supported. I wish I had a bat signal, Joe. You know, if you could donate me a bat signal, I'd be your best friend because I need a bat signal. That would be fantastic because whenever they have like the bands going, all of a sudden the bat signal comes out. Yeah. Tell me everybody isn't going to look around real quick to see if Batman's going to show up. Just kidding. Eric Craddock is doing re-election campaign. Time to vote him out. I know, Carly. You know, it's funny. Um, if I could make some buttons that said "vote for anyone but Craddock," I'd pass them out. The deal. Anti-campaign, right? But it's not for me. It's not about Craddock. You know, it really isn't. It's about Sebastian. It's about meeting different people and saying, "Hey, we're good people." Who want him found and we want awareness to be spread because like I said there's a lot of people that don't watch YouTube. Mainstream media hasn't covered Sebastian in a long time, ever since America's Most Wanted, and that was a complete and utter flop in my opinion. And I boycott America's Most Wanted. You know, Lori, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Vote for anybody but Craddock, please. Don't let him in there, you know. Oh Lord, and it's got like a little pig, like the one that I have for the background. I'd have to do this would have to be the picture on the button for real though. Um, Let me find it. Oh boy. I hope I don't cross paths with Craddock. He probably don't like me very much. He probably doesn't like me one bit. I don't blame him. All right. So yeah, if I just put a button of Craddock's face like this next to the pig, oink oink, I'd have to do the whole thing. It'd have to be quite the button because we'd have to have, the corruption quote. My face wouldn't be on it. I'd have to lose my face, but I only had 2 weeks down there. I could do that. I could do that, outside in front of the courthouse. Or I mean, well, I guess this isn't the courthouse. It's the police department. Vote for anybody but Craddock, please. Run against Craddock. Oh Lord. So, Oh, Joe. Who? The Lost Prophets singer got murdered in prison? Oh my. SI officer says they get away with away, go and do what they want to have their cake and eat it too, whatever. I don't think that neighbor is still shacking up with her, in my opinion, after that night. Oh gosh, no. No. Yeah, I heard there was a lot of activity in the camper that was on the side of his house, is what I heard. It was just not, that is just what I heard. I can't verify it or confirm it. That's just allegedly in someone's opinion that told it. Um, and like I said it from the beginning. I don't care who bangs who, really necessarily, unless they had something to do with Sebastian's disappearance. And with him, in my opinion, he didn't turn his camera footage in, right? And when I asked the dog handler that found the pants with Terry Lynn, she just skirted the chat. She ran away. That was in Jen Coffindaffer's chat from the FBI agent. Yeah, she just like completely left. I don't know if Jen saw that or not, but I took screenshots of it. Right? So these people are right under the FBI's nose in their own chat, acting fools. Can you believe it? It's crazy. Coffee Crime and Cats, good to see you. I was hoping for a reunion in 20 years. Everyone needs, goodness sakes, Joe. Everyone needs to buy a pack of gum and hand it to Craig. I wish I could see, but that's one thing I do. I have to. I identify with Craddock because I do chomp on my gum, and that's why I don't chew gum anymore because I'm like it's like a horse, or no, it'd be more, I guess maybe like a cow, but I just don't um chew gum anymore. But boy, he was a chomping that gum, wasn't he? Hey, Rusty Pipes, he really was. Get them the pouch gum. Oh shit, what is it? The Big Chew? Say officer. Oh, make Craddock a care package while I'm there, you know? Oh goodness. I do. I haven't boycotted Jen, but I'm like, dude, that lady was in your chat, and I straight up, and I don't ask people questions very often. Like, it has to be like I'm really trying to find some shit out if I'm asking a question open in a chat like that. And I did too. I said, Lego Diego, aren't you isn't your dog the one that found the pants with Terry Lynn? She said, yes, it was me. I said, okay, well, what do you think about Chris Carnot showing his camera footage, turning it in? And she just left as fast as she came in. She was talking away too, buddy. She was talking and talking and talking away in the chat until I asked her that, and then she left. So it's the locals playing games as well, you know, in a missing child's case, right? So of course they don't want to be reminded of it, right? They want to sit behind their keyboard and be in Jen Kaffendaffer's chat, and she's a freaking 25-year veteran of the FBI, and they're still willing to fuck around in her chat, right? But they were scared as hell because she left so fucking quick. Because I asked her flat out about that footage. How do they go day to day? It's beyond me. Hey, Kelly Holcomb, because Sebastian's out there and somebody knows something, right? They like to act like they're a part of it, like they're good people, but they don't want to answer any questions. Hey, Deanna. And I wasn't rude to her. I just said, what do you think about that footage not being, given over? Nope. And she didn't even stick around to stay in and chat because she knew everybody wanted an answer, right? So that she did the cowardly thing and she ran off instead of facing it, right? Because there was a lot of talk about them pants getting planted. And if she's friends with Terry Lynn and Chris Carr, and Chris Carr's allegedly screwing Katie in his camper next to his house. What's up with that? Right? It's just a question. But like a coward, she ran away from it. That would be really fun. I mean, they do Crime Con, Women's Warrior. We could do Crime Con and, next year, hopefully I'll have more means to do it. So, yeah. Does anybody, I'm sorry, I just got an email. Does anybody see, because I didn't see Seclusion Works. I think she said she got blocked. Hold on a second. Here, guys, what I'm gonna do, let me fix this because I thought it was fixed. I don't know what happened. All right, hold on a second. Let's go and listen to Chris from Mob Crew for a second while I figure this out because I don't know what happened with Seclusion. Okay, here.
I wish I could show all of them or more of them, but of course I can't burn my inside sources until certain individuals are in lockup. Anyway, so now there's mention of a burner phone. So let's listen to this while I read chat. This comes from J for Justice podcast, which is a shame because I used to follow J for Justice. Like I've really have no quarrels. Maybe you guys feel differently. Like I've always tried to just stay in my lane and not get into the drama or politics on different channels. And when I was covering Gaia Betito, like I shouted her out like a bunch of times, like in my videos. You know, it irks me because it's like this case is really just divided. Uh, put a bad taste in people's mouth and just turn people on each other. And
And I just want to say that I do second that motion from Chris because I used to follow Jays for Justice. As a matter of fact, she was one of the first chats that I was in, active in. And then also, I even had a membership that was gifted. So, yeah, it sucks.
it's really sad, because everybody should have different views, and then if you got a theory and you feel like it's sound, but then if you're looking at the other angle, right, then you can kind of see where maybe they put holes into your theory, and then that helps you reorganize that theory to better solidify that. But that it isn't looked at it like that anymore. You're on one side or the other or whatever. Anyway, it's crazy. So let's do this burner phone. I'm not gonna deep dive into it. There's not much in here, but again, the timing is interesting because we were just talking about a burner phone for the last 3 days, right? And so let's see how this all started. It's pretty crazy. Let's see, really good. Did you see At Night's post about SF and the issues he's caught? Oh yeah. Trust me, really girl. If you're kind of newer to the channel, I'm not sure. It seemed like I've seen your name before. I didn't mean to hit you on the head. Yeah. No, it is no joke. No, yeah, I'm definitely not joking. I'm just saying, like, because yeah, I've had I've had a member. Yeah, certainly no joke, but it's just, it's just wild for him to make those accusations. Jesus.
Sebastian Rogers had only a handful of saved contacts in his phone. After he disappeared, investigators reviewed his call records and allegedly discovered an outgoing call.
Okay, notice, let me pause it and I'm going to restart it. Brenda, thank you so much for becoming a member and supporting this channel. God bless you. I remember in an interview that KP was asked if she had heard Sebastian go out the window, and CP answered, "We would have heard him." Yes, DJ. Yeah, I know exactly. Um, I don't know if that was in Smiley's or there's so many interviews from that early days, but yes, I do remember that, Polly. Um, yeah, it is kind of eerie how much he inserts himself.
Okay, so that was in Smiley's interview. Bonjour, seclusion. Yay. Sorry about that. My goodness. Yeah, we don't want our seclusion works blocked. We love seclusion works. I'm sorry, seclusion. I got you though. Okay, good. It's hard to do it in the app, and I tried to do it in the app, and I guess I didn't save it right or something. But thank you for letting me know. I really appreciate you being here. But yeah, guys, what this DJ Polly was saying, I remember an interview that KP was asked if she would have heard Sebastian go out the window, and CP answered, "We would have heard him." That was on Smiley Stories World. And that interview was back in March when Sebastian first went missing.
Okay, so let me back this up. And I cut a good portion of this out because I just wanted to play the main parts. She's just reading something, and I'll tell you who it came from. Again, there's not a lot to it, but so this is Jay reading something out about allegedly Seth having a burner phone, and here we go. And allegedly not even a last call. Notice the word how she uses allegedly. Just keep that in mind.
Beginning. Sebastian Rogers had only a handful of saved contacts in his phone. After he disappeared, investigators reviewed his call records and allegedly discovered an outgoing call to a burner phone. Law enforcement allegedly traced and triangulated that number to the Clarksville area. Oh no, I'm sorry. Someone.
And Clarksville, if you don't know, that's where Seth lives. And I'll play this last part, and then I'll give my thoughts on it.
Says that Seth talked about mentioning having a burner phone. Okay. And then Nerdisa asks, physical burn?
And notice she said nerdy, and if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'll mention in a minute. Yep, she mentions allegedly.
Burners or virtual burners provided through apps.
So she just said either a burner phone or a burner app, which is really just like Google Voice. So, or other apps where you can go, on your phone and get an app, and, you can basically just get a free number, basically, which isn't, and then that way it's, not tied to a name or, as your cell phone would be. Now, the first issue with this is a burner cell phone. The proper definition of a burner cell phone is you get a prepaid phone, you use it, and then you burn it. Not literally, or you could literally. You get rid of it. So if Seth says like, well, I still have a burner phone. Well, it's not technically a burner phone because you still have the damn phone. So it's not a burner phone until you've bought the prepaid, used it, and then you ditched it. That is the full definition. At least from my understanding, that's the full definition of a burner phone, is you get rid of it after. But if you still have it, I don't know if that's considered a burner phone or you just bought a second phone that just happened to be a prepaid phone, right? So that's ridiculous. Now, the Google Voice app or an extended number, now that is kind of believable. And and even texting apps. Yeah, sometimes they're just texting apps. You can get like a number for, or even phone calls.
So, sounds like there's a little pressure being put on Seth and the Clarksville area due to possibly an app, maybe, like a Google Voice app or something along those lines that would give you a burner number or a physical burner.
But again, if you have the damn phone, because she mentions that earlier, saying that, oh, he's still got this phone, allegedly. Well, if he still has a phone, it's not a burner phone until you get rid of it. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the full definition of having a burner phone. Like, solid, a phone. You get rid of it after. But anyway, the funny thing is they don't mention a time. Let me see. There's a little bit more to this.
They're not saying when the outgoing call was. It just says
No way. No way. Now listen to the rest of this. I wonder why.
after he disappeared, investigators reviewed his call records and allegedly discovered an outgoing call to a burner phone.
So this is the dumbest thing ever, and I'll tell you where it really came from, and it's going to be no surprise. Is so they're saying that there's an outgoing call. They don't say the date. So this could literally be like 6 months ago. But the fact that, she says, well, after he went missing, then they looked up his phone records. Well, obviously all his phone records could be before he went missing. So clearly you could take this way out of context and say, oh, well, at one point, maybe Seth and his son were communicating through this app because, well, maybe, his mother or Crispy was,
Crispy.
being an a-hole about them talking to each other when,
A-hole.
he didn't have Sebastian at that time.
All right, guys, I love Snarky Chris. I'm sorry. You guys could probably hear me, in the background just laughing because it's so funny. Just hilarious. So yeah, anybody who's not familiar with this case, I call him Crispy Stepfoot, but we got that from Chris here at the Mob Crew calling him Crispy. It's just too funny. But yeah, that's who they're referring to as Stepfoot. And, that's what they love to do is take everything out of context. Instead of putting it into logical order, they put it, and take it out of context. And it's amazing how they can put a spin on certain information. It's astounding. Brenda Calvert says when more distractions start flying, sounds like CP is the one that is worried, in my opinion. Oh, hells yeah. Yeah, definitely. Ooh, Holly S. Lady Freedom, I'm listening from Mexico. Yay, I love you too, Holly S. Hey girl, I'm going down to Key Largo tomorrow for a day trip. So I'll be kind of on island time. So ooh, Seclusion Works is making brownies. Ooh, peanut butter cookies and brownies. That sounds so good. That sounds so good. This is so funny. He does the best my ass ever. Yeah, he does. I need to clip that and use it on the show. I gotta send him an email and see if he doesn't mind. But it is so funny. Um, and then if I'll see if I can, do my ass and then crispy, right afterwards. Would be really funny. Christmas Swan says, I thought a burner phone is a phone you buy and you put minutes on without being hooked up to the phone carrier. It is. Yeah, it is. Like it's like the ones that you can purchase down at Walmart. And I did a video on burner phones and how easy it is to get one. Right? And you can have the people at the counter set it up for you. So then that way none of your personal information is on there, and then you just tell them whatever area code you want, and they'll give you that. And then you have a number, and then, you pay cash for it. So there's no paper trail, right? You throw the receipt away because if you keep the receipt and the police find it in your car, then your ass is grass and you're in trouble and, all of that good stuff. You're done pretty much. But, you know, in that regard, it's a burner and then you ditch the phone, right? That's the only way that it becomes a burner phone is if you use it for a nefarious purpose and then ditch it, right? That's what makes it a burner. And that's just the way they call it, a burner phone. Hey TJ. So Kiki was in here. Hey Elisa P. OMG, Nerdy Addict had Barry Morphew innocent. Oh shit. Chris Watts innocent. What? Tisha Stalk innocent. What? Candace and Don. Why am I not surprised? Candace and Don innocent. He's a nutcase. Elisa P. Thanks for being here. Oh shit. I have no idea who Nerdy Addict is, but thank you, Elisa, for a brief synopsis. I would have to say with that list, I'd have to say wrong on Barry, wrong on Chris, wrong on Letitia, wrong on Candace and Don. That's my, because I think they're all guilty, all of those guys. And luckily we got Chris. Barry Morphew's also in trouble, isn't he? I haven't kept up with that case as much, but I know, like, I watched the whole trial with Letitia, the whole shebang. I listened to her jail calls. I mean, girl, um, watched her try to act like she was batshit crazy when she is, but, so burn that damn receipt, right, TJ? Don't put it in your car. Don't crumple it up and throw it in your floorboard and forget about it. You got to cover your tracks. That's what makes it the burner phone, right? That you're using it for a bad purpose, because you would use your own phone if you were just gonna, if you were doing something normal, then you could use your own phone. But you buy a phone that's not connected to you in order to do some dirt, and then you throw it out. You get rid of it, you burn it, right? And so, yeah. Interesting. Hey, Carrie Jackson. Carrie Jackson says police get records from burner phones. They actually can. Like, they can get it if you don't, destroy the phone. And say they get the phone, yeah, they can trace it back to people. I mean, if it has all, it's kind of hard to do the perfect crime, you know. So TJ, I love I love your logo. I just realized your avatar. That's funny as hell. Police would never have released this info if it was true. Why almost 2 years later they find it? Chris looked at uh, a f- the phone every night. Well, and they just like they're so restrictive, right? Like, those are their words. They said they restrict the cell phone, right? So he didn't have anything that he could really do on it. And it seems like it was plugged in on the island, in their kitchen the whole day, you know? So, yeah, the cast team can track any burner phone. Yeah. Thanks, Elisa P. So, I mean, people think they can get away with stuff. It's very hard in the digital age. Yeah, here's Kiki. I knew you were in here. Nerdy Addict's an idiot. Lover girl. I don't know. Like I said, I've never watched him. Never. Is it a guy? Is it a girl? Hey, Don B. Good to see you, hon. Where did the murder stuff come from? Okay, so he's gonna say it, but it's from, like, the J is for Justice group. J is for Justice and Company. Um, they're kind of pushing that out, and then they're also saying that Seth was, asleep for 2 hours in his truck. Per Terry Lynn, she's always involved in it, whether she likes it or not, I guess. So TJ says, red flags, Lady Freedom. Do you have Kiki's phone number? If so, could you please call her? She's got a live scheduled. All of our mods are there. We don't want to leave. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure thing. Okay. Okay. Sure thing, Kiki. Sorry, guys. I'm a little late to the party here. So, um, let's see. Lady Freedom, I think they still trace a burner through another phone which receives a call. Well, they could still do it that way too, Joe. Yeah, absolutely. So say like I'm doing dirt with you on the burner phone. That doesn't mean that, like, your phone, it can't be compromised. But if we both use burner phones and we got rid of them, that's the way to do it, right? We both pay cash. We both put minutes. We both put different area codes, blah blah blah. Like, as long as we get rid of them and burn them, um, it's not new info, Don. In my opinion, it's old news. Seth had said that he had two separate phones that he used. One, which I do too. I have two phones, my old iPhone and my, newer one. And one's a 14, one's an 11. And I do a lot of, like, the videos and stuff on I do all the videos on my phone, but I can do it on either phone. And so that one's not a burner. I mean, it's been registered to me, like, I paid it off and everything. Because I've never just bought my iPhones outright. I put them on a payment plan through the phone company, Sprint, and then now I have Verizon. But yeah, they're basically saying that Sebastian could have had an extra phone, but it doesn't even make sense because that would put it at Katie's house, and they're saying that he texted somebody from the burner phone in Clarksville, and that's why on the missing flyer it says that he has ties to Clarksville. They're taking it all out of context, in my opinion, you know? Yeah, exactly. Like burner phones don't have to be to do dirt, you know? They don't. It's just one of those things where I mean, you can use it for good or bad. Everything is good or bad, same thing with internet, all of that. Um, so Lover Girl says it's a guy. He says he met with Chris for several hours and he's putting a bunch of junk. He's not fact checking with anyone else on X. Oh, okay. See, that's why um yeah, Seth has 2 phones. He said that in an interview played just the other day, but one of the phones does not have a plan attached to it. It's an old phone that he switched plans and got a new phone. See, it's the same thing as I did. He kept the other just to connect to the Wi-Fi. Yeah, it can't receive calls. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. How did Jay she got it from that what's his face? Junkie, sorry. I call him Junkie. Where is that person? I'm sure you guys already told him in the chat. Yeah, Don, it's just this other creator. I agree about the idiocy, Elisa P. It's purely it just doesn't make any sense. It's if it made sense, I'd be like, "Oh, damn, Jay, good job," I mean, but no. I'm not convinced at all. Even if they pay cash for it, they can track it from the store it's bought from, those cameras in the store. Well, that's true. That's true, Brenda. Absolutely. If they catch you up at Walmart buying a burner phone, oh yeah, you'll have some splaining to do, Lucy. You're welcome, Carrie Jackson. Elisa says Seth has both those phones and the police took them. Yeah, absolutely. Took Sebastian's laptop too. You know, I know. I have to see how we can multi-stream, Kiki. Yeah, FBI processed both of the phones. That's my understanding too, Elisa P. Absolutely. Lover Girl says it's so frustrating when people who do nothing about this case suddenly jump into the case like thank you, Nerdy Addict is the one. He done an regurgitate Proudfoot talking points without verifying anything through Seth. Yeah, and I mean Seth is the one that said it, but they're gonna make it look like, oh, Seth, da 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 da, and it's bullshit. I mean, Seth, he just wants his kid, Yeah, that's a big. He defended Barry Morphew for years. Oh Lord. Oh, Scranton says in the video J for J put out today, she had a clip from Chris McDonough, excuse me, and she clipped it where it sounded like he was suspicious of Seth having kidnapped his son because of custody battle. Well, yeah, I mean, look, I was suspicious of Seth as well back then. I don't know when she clipped the video from or which she took it from. I'm assuming it might have been something with Josh over at the lab. Um, you know, I too looked at Seth, right? I listened to every word he said. I listened to every word he said again and again. I watched his facial expressions. I watched his micro expressions, you know. And I'm not right all the time, but I will say that I see a man who's trying to find his son. I see a man of his word. It's a big nothing burger, Don B. In my opinion, it's no reason to get anybody's, panties in a twist or anything over it. It's just, it's ridiculous in my opinion. Well, Red says the 3 a.m. lights could have very much been bringing clothes back. I don't know. I still feel like something happened in the house. Well, I think so too. And why would they, attract attention to the house when they don't want it? Yeah, Chris merely stated police investigating would look into Seth, and they did, right. But they didn't look into everything either. Seth has complained about that as well. You know, a new SF. Oh Lord, we have fish sticks 2.0. Oh boy, Hmm. Ooh, I would love some seclusion works. It sure is funny how CP goes for all these fakes online instead of real detectives. Exactly. I agree with that, Lisa P. And I said it the other day. I said, how come he's asking Dolly to come down and search with him when the McCoys wanted to, right? He's not trying to have Fred and Sheila out there. He's not, you know? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. CP would not even talk to CM. Exactly. Yeah. When's the last time Janky did anything right? I don't know. I don't know. It's been a while. Like I remember, I think the ruckus is the last time, and then, again, I got mad at her because I thought she was being mean to Terry Lynn, but come to find out, it was just because Terry Lynn wouldn't give her the receipts that she said she had, and so it was like, and I understand that, that frustration or whatever. Um, I'm not hateful though. Like I don't know, I'm just not a hateful person. If I don't like you, I just won't deal with you. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna antagonize you or torment you or anything like that. I just go my separate ways and say, peace out, yo. And Carla says, did you see another 15-year-old autistic boy in Texas missing? I did see that, Carla. His mom selling fruit and turn around, he's gone. He's like 5 years old. Cops not taking it seriously. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I did see that, Carla. I did. Well, you told me about it in the comments. I've also been working a lot behind the scenes. Yeah, because Fred's an ex-cop. Lisa, it's true. And here's Sheila. She's so nice. She just wants to talk to Katie mother to mother, right? But Katie's refusing. No, have Dolly and PJ come down there. For what? They're not law enforcement. Dolly's got a drone, but I mean, you know. Dolly's got to eat too. No, I'm just teasing. Don B says, remember this? We found no sign of him around the house. Head of search and rescue. Exactly. No sign, no scent, right, Don B? Like nothing, and no footage of him. And there's footage of everything else going on in the neighborhood. We could even find the cat or the boy that was, out there with the flashlight looking for the cat. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. And we know the Morkies didn't get out that night, so that wasn't Sebastian looking for one of the dogs. I know that it's hard to see the video, but we still see it, you know? So there's nothing LE does, but have they just don't want to share it. Yeah, I agree with that, Little Red. They just don't want to share it. Hey, Chris Marie, the only reasons Chris has something to do with Dolly is because the Turtle Island, and I guarantee you Clue set that up. He doesn't really want to search with Dolly, in my opinion. Yeah, I can see that, Chris Marie. Definitely. Yeah, Sebastian won't be there. Well, and why would Dolly want to waste his time is my question too, like I wouldn't want to waste my time you know. Don B says, I don't think he made it home that evening. There's a lot of people that think that way too, Don. A lot of people. And, Kiki says, I don't think so either. And that could be that very well could be true. I mean, especially when you look at that Carrie's reviews video, there's definitely some activity. Someone sent me 3 really good still shots of that, and it does look like there's a boy walking back there. It's so hard to see it. There's no way we could probably ever tell if that's Sebastian or not. Um, you know, yeah, I would think they would keep it. And Christy, I don't think they would make a huge mess or anything either. At the house. I mean, ugh, it makes me sick to think of it. Krista says, well, since things didn't go nowhere in this case, why don't we listen to that mysterious audio that got cleaned up? Yeah, I've been trying to um get a hold of it, actually, Krista. I might have to ask Leanne for it because I think Leanne has it. But I know Leanne was trying to get it cleaned up, but then she had that weirdo. And I really haven't gone to her channel lately. Hey, little Miss Sharon. Hey, girl, how you doing? But there's definitely something about the lights video handing something off. Well, and we're going to hear in this too that you know, I mean, the neighbors saw Katie jumping over the ditch, right? They have that big drainage ditch in the common area. And that's why I made my thumbnail like that tonight, because I thought, oh, okay, there's a good one. So, hey, Detroit Rock City, good to see you. Oh, I had a headache yesterday really bad after my live. I think I didn't have enough caffeine yesterday. It was terrible. All right, here we go, guys.
And so maybe this is that way he could speak with his dad without I don't know. But again, you can definitely tell this is just I think there's probably a shred of truth to this, but I think it's just completely taken out of context. And it is again, it's about an hour away, Clarksville. It's to the west, kind of northwest. I'll show you on the map here. But again, keep in mind, we have no idea. So it's hour and 4 minutes away, a little over 50 miles. And it is. It's where Seth lives, in that general area. But again, we have no date, no date and time, which I think is be pretty big. And then notice how the entire time she says allegedly, she says it multiple times, which I find funny. But I do think there might be a shred of truth. But of course, they're just going to, they want to, take some heat off them, put some heat on Seth. And again, what does this prove, right? Because if you can't give us a date and time, how do we don't know if it's not 6 months ago, right? But you wanted to, pull that out. So where did this originally come from? How did this all get started? It's just nonsense, right? Yeah, Seth was at work, Again, we could go over the alibis. Again, Seth's on camera at work. He's working hours away. It's so ridiculous. Which means you'd have to have an accomplice, right? And then this is so funny because they always, well, let me get past this next part. And then I'm going to bring some receipts as well, for something completely different.
Law enforcement allegedly traced and triangulated that number to the Clarksville
It's
area.
a little bit north.
They even showed Seth a clip.
Then we have this. This is so. See, this is where again I think Crispy are on a campaign, right? And it's weird, because I don't want to think like I'm something special. It's weird, I start getting better. I start covering this case again. Now Nerdy Attic, and again another person who I followed like a lot. And it might even been the Gabby Tito case when I first started following him. I know it was short. If it wasn't that, it was shortly after. And loved some of his posts because he had some really good inside sources. And now, so if you don't know, he went out to Henderson, Tennessee. I don't know how long he stayed out there, maybe a week or less, whatever. He, if you want, you can go to his Twitter page. He'd gotten some drone footage, showed a retention pond, wants to reinforce this stupid retention pond theory, which again, unless Sebastian can turn into a ghost, I don't know how you're getting past, at least 5 cameras that are, at least 2 to 3 of them are very good, and can capture a neighbor in the next street over, God, what, 200 to 300 feet away or more, coming out of his house, again, on another street over, who would then eventually, SF would try to play off as being Sebastian. Again, one of the most despicable things I've ever seen done. makes me sick to my stomach. Somebody else mentioned it recently, and I was like, yes, I'm so glad other people are like saying, like, talking about what he did on the anniversary and how just you just can't get any lower than that to try to pass off that, on the anniversary that we might have, Sebastian a sighting, a legit sighting, and the entire time it's bullshit. It is. It's just, yeah, those kind of people, Yeah, anyway, so let me read this. It was previously believed that Texas Roadhouse footage was the final known sighting of Sebastian Rogers, but it has been since confirmed that additional surveillance captured him later that evening between 6:45 and 7:15 as he took out his trash near the house. And then he goes on to say that all three parents claimed that this is that they all agreed.
Proof of life since Friday or
insinuating
or Thursday or Friday.
So here we go, right
the
here.
Clarksville area due to his call record.
even though he had.
Yeah.
So, just spoiler alert. Of course, he spoke with Crispy, right? No surprises there.
Did he tell you about that?
About what?
That his little comment, he hadn't seen proof of life since Friday or
Insinuating
Thursday or Friday when I last saw or heard from my son.
Yeah.
So you just heard that is in late March, maybe April at the latest, with Heather Cohen, Sus PI, interviewing Katie and Crispy. And what did he just say there? What did they have a problem with? That Seth was not on board with the last proof of life. Yet, here is Nerdy literally saying it was him. All three caregivers confirm. My fucking ass. Bullshit. I hate this shit. It's one thing to speculate. We all have the right to speculate, theorize. But when you start putting out stuff like that, where you're literally riling people up, trying to pass this off as fact, when literally, I just played an audio from the stink feet themselves, literally claiming, bitching about how Seth did not believe it was his son. Yet, here we go, Nerdy Addict, drinking the Kool-Aid, whatever. And I don't want to go after Nerdy Addict. It just sucks, man. Because, like, again, it's another guy that I've followed, and he's had some really good stuff. It just breaks my heart. But it's clearly, anybody that gets close, literally in the vicinity of the Proud Feet, all of a sudden, I don't know what, do they get paid off or threatened or both or whatever. Now all of a sudden these people start putting out these weird narratives and literally trying to pass them off as, facts. I make mistakes all the time. I was brought up, to show humility, right? I have no issue, I don't need to be the person that has to be right all the time. But him to literally put out this statement, sorry, it goes so damn fast, saying, yes, he was cited between 6:45 and 7:15. Notice, he put this out today, actually. Oh, it was today he actually put this out. Do you think it's a coincidence that we were just covering, starting 2 days ago, that he didn't make it home? Do you guys think it's just again, and not to build myself up like, oh, I'm something special, right? There's so many great creators out there, so many. But all of a sudden, I'm talking about a scenario which I think has some legs to it, that he may not made it home. And now we have this, right? And then we have this burner phone thing. Do you guys think that's a coincidence? And yes, I agree 100%. I agree with a lot of people in the chat. Yeah. Where is it? Yes, Krista, I agree. And I know what they're trying to do. If this, and again, I don't want to have like this ego. Let's just say if it is a chance that this is because again we had fish sticks going after me again, or I want to say going after me, whatever, however you want to call it. Clearly tied to the stink feet. Now we have nerdy addict who's been out there, I don't know, a week or around a week, give or take. And now we have all this stuff, and all this stuff is stuff that we've been talking about. Again, is it a coincidence? But yes, I agree, Krista, because I do wonder if it is part like, hey, let's just keep putting out this nonsense so they're talking about it and they're not actually looking into the case. I 100% agree. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to hit that like button because I'm going to bring some proof. Again, I think it's big. I wish I could show more because I know there's going to be naysayers. I could have the original video of the lights, and they would, of course, say, oh, it's AI or something, But, because I know clearly somebody's watching, right? Somebody's watching. And so I want to get their attention. No, not get their attention. Clearly, I already have their attention. I want to make them sweat a little bit. So,
even though he had.
Yeah. Which did he tell you about that?
Sweat a little bit.
About what?
That his little comment, he hadn't seen proof of life since Friday or
Thursday
or Friday when I last saw or heard from my son.
Yeah, I
again, shame on Nerdy. I hate that. I hate to even say that because man, that's sad. He's had some really good information in the past, right? And again, please don't ever show hate to anybody that we mention. We're above all that stuff, right? Again, it just blows me away that certain people are adults and the way they act online. It's just
heard about that comment. I mean, he hasn't said it.
Yes, Tisa, I agree. That is one thing. Steve, former law enforcement detective, that was one of his famous sayings. That there are no coincidences in true crime.
To me, but I had heard about the comment.
But see, this is where, like, truth be told, this is where everything needs to come out.
He already knew that there was proof of life.
He knew there was proof of life prior to that. He started some shit. It caused the fuck.
Okay. All right. Oh, and then there's this one. One more. From Nerdy. And then,
prior to that,
we'll get into my
he started
receipts.
some shit. It caused the fuck.
Then he puts out another statement. Not sure how relevant this is, but it's confirmed that Sebastian Rogers sometimes hid beneath a neighbor's vehicle when playing flashlight tag. And then he goes on, I think, or agrees with somebody saying that he had kids that he was playing with, if I recall.
Yeah, guys, in this part, I just want to pop in because I know we talked a lot in the beginning, so we have a little bit to get through. But this part right here, I put it in my earlier videos, because even the news anchor caught herself and she's like, Sebastian has been known to hide, and then she like backtracked. Hey, Bo, good to see you. So it's really interesting, that this is being brought up again, right? Because Chris was saying, oh no, that wasn't Sebastian, that was another kid. The neighbors had a mistake, but I find it interesting that this is being revisited now, Yeah, Carla, he's great and he does really good research, and if he makes a mistake, he just says, because we don't want to make mistakes when we get up here. A lot of times we want to have everything right on, like the speculations and stuff. I'm not as hard on myself about, but just, getting the general facts right, like what time Sebastian went to bed, right? What time the thud was heard or whatever, the bang or whatever they call it, whatever the noise occurred. Thanks Kiki for dropping Chris's link. And yeah, so I mean, we want to get it right, but when we don't, we'll just you just have to come up and say, hey, I made a mistake, or I thought it was this, but it's really this, because if we're operating under wrong assumptions and we're not, we're wasting our own time. So I don't think any of us get up here and, want to get it wrong. So
Yeah, right here. Someone asked, did he have any friends? Look at that. I cannot believe he actually went the mile to say that. I think the part where he liked to hit by cars, I think that part could be true. But from what I understand, yes, there is some kids and teenagers in that neighborhood. Not a lot. Most of that neighborhood, it's not a big neighborhood. Now you have that adjacent neighborhood that, with the construction site. But obviously that hadn't been built before he went missing. A good portion of those people, retired, or the main thing, if they have kids, a lot of them, they have moved on. Like, their kids have moved out. Again, when Sebastian Rogers went missing, half the neighborhood, at least half the neighborhood, had no idea who Sebastian Rogers was. That comes from multiple accounts. So keep that in mind. So, again, I would love to know who these teenage neighbors are. I think the hiding, because even as a kid as me, I did stuff like that. But I think it's interesting mentioning the flashlight tag, right? And again, remember, this guy went and spoke with Crispy. And guess where all the burner details came from? I couldn't find the tweet. I don't know if he took it down or what. Because I couldn't find it. I seen like a screenshot of it, I think on somebody's show. But he literally says, yeah, I spoke with Crispy, and he told me about this burner phone and that they traced it, triangulated it, blah, 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 blah. So, again, are you guys surprised that this came from, Crispy? Yeah. Again, they were like, what kid? I think the bus picks up like I don't know. I don't want to speculate the number, but let's just say the bus just picks up a very small amount of kids to go to school. So keep that in mind. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's pathetic. But I love how they love to add that flashlight tag in, because it's like they want to have their cake and eat it too. They don't believe in the flashlight video, but yet they think he's wandering around and maybe Seth went and, lured him out with the flashlight. Yet we know, if you believe in that video, then there is somebody running back to the home. So who the hell is that, right? They're literally running back to the house. So again, I think it's so funny. But let's go to the receipts. You guys ready? Again, I wish I could do more, and maybe we will. I have to kind of like be very careful because I can't burn my my sources. But I am going to show you guys something. But yeah, that's the school bus flying up Kellen. Now, I think it just goes up and does a U-turn so it can stop right on Stafford and Kellen. And then that's where the kids are supposed to, that's the stop, right? It's not stopping at each home. But yeah. All right. Yeah, see, I think so. That's where I think part of it's true, and then they're trying to twist it like he was playing, and then they want to add in this flashlight tag, and but I have not heard anything, about any teenagers that knew Sebastian playing it. Again, I don't know everything, but yeah. got the one running back done. It will be sent to you and FBI as well. Ooh, okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, guys, I am bringing some receipts for you. Hey, we got Bullhorn. Good to see you, Bullhorn. Hope you're doing well. When is Pigfest, Bullhorn? Again, it's something I haven't really balled on that angle, but kind of curious. All right, guys. So here, because this is why it's just like all this nonsense. Clearly, nerdy, getting information, and they're putting all these stupid narratives out, and I do think it's they're doing that to have us waste our time to 10 to 23. Oh, okay, so towards the end of the month. Thank you. Yeah, and I agree, and I don't want to get I don't want to get distracted and have to sit there and debunk. So, oh, here comes the thunder. Storm's coming. All right, so we're getting towards the end. So here is, and again, maybe another day I'll pull out my phone and I'll show the photos that are on my phone, but I have to, again, my contact, I cannot burn this contact. So what you're seeing here is a picture from last year. Okay. Obviously it's in portrait mode. He's taking, this person's taking it, a portrait mode. Now, let me show you the next photo. And no, this is not Google Maps. And you'll see in the next picture, you can tell much better. Because I know there's going to be people on the other side. Oh, he's just showing crop photos of, Google Maps, right? Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear that thunder. Oops, I went a little too far. Come on. Any second. Here we go. So let me pause it here. I had to be very careful how I showed this picture because it kind of shows some stuff. All right. So this was last year. For those who've been following this case with me, I told you guys that I've had multiple people out there spoken to this homeowner. I told you guys that. I told you guys that I would be able to back this up, when the time comes. But of course, these specific contacts, I have to be, I can't burn them until, yeah. Oh, you quit smoking as well? Oh my God, it's so hard. Whew. Man, first week, even now I still have, but I'm getting, my smell's pretty much back. My buds are starting to come back. Those take a while, but that's awesome. Good for you. Boy, it's not easy. Coffee did it for me. Would they play flashlight tag at 3 a.m. on a school night? Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous. And remember his thing. But anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked too much, but thank you, Paulie, so much for the $4.99. But yeah, great point. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous, right? Okay. This is my source, one of my sources, there with the homeowner. Now, he's standing in a specific position for a specific reason. Actually, multiple reasons. 3 of them, to be in fact. So, just for anybody, because I know there's going to be those naysayers on the other side going, oh, that's just him from Google Earth, Google Maps. Here's Google Maps. Remember, the car, it comes from the road, right? I cannot back this up anymore. I cannot. The Google man isn't, standing right here next to the mailbox, right? And, there's 3 dates, same thing. He is on this side of the road, so he is kind of close. But again, this isn't Google Earth, Google Maps. And keep in mind, this is 1 year before he went missing. Notice this tree. Notice the growth on it, how these are kind of just been planted. Now look at mine. Notice they've grown almost like it's been a year. Okay, so there's a reason for this. It says my contact speaking with the homeowner right then and there. taken multiple photos. I've got more, but I've just got, I think, 4 to share with you. I have to kind of edit. This was kind of last minute. There's 3 things that he's pointing out here, because he's got the homeowner talking to him to the left. He's telling him, 1, it looked like the car was almost straight across from the mailbox. The mailbox would be right to our right, right? So if we look to we went back here, him and the homeowner are standing right here to the left of the mailbox and looking this way. Why are they looking this way? Well, now they couldn't stand in the driveway because they had multiple vehicles. So that'd be in the way. But this is, now obviously this is not the exact angle of the camera, but this is the direction. He wanted to emphasize this is kind of what's in the camera. You know, this isn't exact, but just kind of rough. The third, and just about almost the main thing, as he said, the vehicle was parked almost right in front of this first tree. Keep that in mind, it's huge. He said it was parked almost right in front of this first tree. Because there's I think there's actually 3 of them, but this first one here. That is now, here obviously it's just barely starting to grow. Now, of course, if you remember, we have the white truck that was parked right here. Remember, we have the Camaro. Not the Camaro, I'm sorry. I always want to say Camaro. The Dodge. We have that white truck. And guess what? If we were to just be parallel to that white truck that's sitting right here, well, I'll be damned. There's that tree. Anyway, he wanted to emphasize this tree.
Boom, guys. I just have to step in and say, boom, wow. Right there, because that's exactly where they were coming through at, right? The exact spot, the common area, the ditch, everything that Bobby explained that she saw in the footage. So just spot on.
Continuing on. And I've got more, and I have this phone, and I will keep it until this case gets solved, and I will just record from another phone, my phone, and all the chats. And I told you guys, I've had contacts that have spoken literally with this homeowner. And he said it was something just like that. Of course, I'm just overlaying the vehicle from the 3 a.m. off Killen. But yeah, it was something just like that. And I've got one more photo to show you. Because I'm so sick of this just, nonsense that they're putting out. And so take a look, and then just in case for the naysayers, obviously, if you followed this case, this all looks familiar. Keep an eye on this concrete. This guy's got a kind of a unique driveway, right? And I kind of zoom in on it. Sorry, it's starting to rain really loud outside. That's probably perfect timing because I'm trying to finish up. But like I said, bringing the receipts here. Notice his driveway. It's very unique, and we'll look at Google Earth so we can compare. Because I want that. I know some of those other people are watching, and I want them to know. I know stuff. I've said it all along. I don't know everything. Far from it. But I know quite a bit. Here's another photo just to definitely tell you that this is not from no Google Earth. As you can see, he's literally standing in the driveway. You can see his driveway here. It's definitely got, a unique pavement. Compared to the street here. So clearly they are standing right next to the mailbox in the driveway. And then the final photo, does that cement look familiar? Bueller? Anybody? Anybody recognize where this photo's coming from?
Dang.
Does this driveway look familiar? Cement. That is
Who's skinny little
my
Tiger,
inside
though?
source. One of them. And that is, I'm 90%. I don't want to say 100% because I know some people are coming and going, but it was. I know I was with the guy for quite a bit. And again, this is the guy that, like I told you guys, he told them, and this didn't even happen once. This happened twice with two different, I don't want to get too specific until the day comes. There's even more stuff that, again, I just cannot mention because it would not be good because I know those people are watching. But as you can see, there's the grass. And again, this is August, September-ish. This is before fish sticks came along. But yeah, I'm like 90% sure that's the homeowner right there, right? And you can tell that's the driveway. They're standing where usually that Dodge is, right? Literally standing. You can see the crack right here, and you can see the grass with the, sidewalk going up. Literally standing right there. He is getting all the info. And I had to blur this out for a couple of reasons. That's a device that, when things happen, I'll everything will be unedited. But like I said, I told you guys I would back up the things that I can back up. I will back up. And again, this homeowner, his own words, said the car looked like it was parked literally right in front of the bush, straight across, not quite straight across, but kind of kitty corner from his mailbox. That's why they were standing next to the mailbox. The camera is faced towards the common area, right? That's why that photo, the panoramic photo, that's why the one panoramic photo I do have, that's the reason for it, is to kind of give you an idea of the camera, because he had the homeowner standing there right there going like, yep, that's kind of, a rough estimate of where it's centered on. He told him, yes, I can see the guy, somebody, now I don't want to say guy, but he says, I can see the figure running and jumping the ditch. And again, all this is on my phone. Yeah, so there's my phone, but yeah, okay, that's good. Anyway, where's the camera? Anyway, I don't know if you guys can see that well. Anyway, guys, you guys, oh, good. Contact almost came up. Anyway, woo! Timed that just right. Anyway, like I said, but that's just one of many visits. Not many, but one of a couple of visits to the homeowner. Again, and please, no one go bother the homeowner. Again, this was all last year. I never even asked for any of, this. This is when I put out the 3 a.m. and everybody and their dog was contacting me and wanting to help me. And I got a couple of inside sources. And again, they went and they were doing some stuff for me. And then the homeowner was just outside working on his boat. They got to chatting. The guy's super nice. And then, yeah, I explained everything that he could see, and everything that we've talked about is in it. The car shows up. It sits there for, I don't know if he mentioned the exact timing, but the car pulls up without its lights, sits there for a bit, probably waiting for the motion light to turn off, just like we've speculated. And then the lights are moving. The car pulls back out. And then the last thing you see is somebody running across, jumping the ditch. So, again, thank you, Tracy. Again.
Okay, guys, so that's exactly what prompted me to play this tonight, because Chris is saying that he has a contact, a source, that he's speaking with who is showing him receipts and evidence and clues that someone, and said that on the footage someone definitely jumped over a ditch, right? So there we have it.
Um, oh yeah, absolutely nonsense. I don't think this is the real Seth. I think this is somebody that supports Seth. I know for obvious. Because I think Seth has something else in the title. Yeah, we kind of went over that, but again, I've got more receipts to back up these claims that I've mentioned for what feels like a year. Yeah. I don't know if that's the real Seth. I thought the real Seth has a different handle. I know this guy. If not, it's somebody that clearly supports Seth. I could be wrong. The burner phone. We'll play it one last time. If you don't know, it comes from. It comes from you know who, Crispy.
And then Nerdisa asks, physical burners or virtual burners provided through...
Hold on, let me make sure.
And allegedly discovered an outgoing call to a burner phone. Law enforcement allegedly traced and triangulated that number to the Clarksville area. Oh no, I'm sorry. Someone says that Seth talked about mentioning having a burner phone. Okay. And then Nerdisa asks, physical burners or virtual burners provided through apps?
Now, keep in mind, this is coming. So, Nerdy Addict, I usually just on Twitter. I think he does have a YouTube channel. I don't know how much he's on that. Again, I've just always followed him on Twitter. Apparently, he's been out there. Oh, okay, it is Seth. Okay. I feel like sometimes there's another one that has that same handle, but it's slightly different. So, oh, I apologize. Because I know there's another one that has like the similar handle. And so I'm like, God, is that the real one? Or is that just the guy that just got the same handle? But yeah, they're saying that they, according to this Nerdy Addict who went out, supposedly spoke to the Stink Feet, you know who, Crispy, and told them that they triangulated a call. It was an outgoing call. It was one from Sebastian Rogers' phone. And they said they triangulated it to Clarksville. And then they said that you mentioned that you had a burner phone at some point. Which, again, if you still have the phone, then it's not considered a damn burner phone, which is stupid. But then they said if it wasn't that, it was an app like a voice, Google Voice. Now, that would be more considered like a burner number because you can easily get it and get rid of it, or other apps similar to that. But they said, yeah, basically there was an outgoing call to a burner phone or a burner app number, but they don't say the date. They don't say the time. They just say, oh, before he went missing, there was a call, and it came from allegedly a burner number. So I think maybe there's a shred of truth to that, and probably it was like a call that he made to, maybe allegedly to you 6 months ago, but yet they want to, get people riled up and take it out of context and make it seem like it was one of his last calls. That's what I get from it. I was asked once about a burner phone. Sebastian never had a burner phone, and he wasn't even bought one, and he wasn't ever bought one. It's fake. They're saying that you have a burner phone, and the number in his phone called a burner phone. So they're suggesting you're the one that had a burner phone. I don't know if you can touch on that or not. Again, a lot of people have 2 phones. And if you still have both of them, then that's not a burner phone, even if it's a prepaid phone. But they're saying that you had like a second phone that allegedly he made a call before he went missing. But they don't ever say exactly when. So I think if there is a shred of truth, they could easily take that out of context and, it was a call made 6 months ago or, a month before he went missing. And it sounds like Crispy just trying to stir some shit up. And, but yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I'll play it one more time there. Yeah, it's a shame because I followed Nerdy, but yeah, after seeing him say all this stuff, I'm so disappointed. So disappointed.
Call records and allegedly discovered an outgoing call to a burner phone. Law enforcement allegedly traced and triangulated that number to the Clarksville area. Oh no, sorry.
So there you go.
Someone says that Seth talked about mentioning having a burner phone. Okay. And then Nerdy asks, physical burners or virtual burners provided through apps? So, yeah. Sounds like there's a little pressure being put on Seth and the Clarksville area due to possibly an app. Maybe.
So I bet you there's probably an outgoing call, and it was to you, but then they're just twisting it to make it sound like, oh, it was called to a second number or something like that, and then there's no context of when this call was actually made, whether it was made a few nights before he went missing, the night he went missing, or 6 months ago. And of course, this came from who, which they love to stir shit up and make shit up. Just like the Texas Roadhouse, where they say everybody, including yourself, agreed that you could see 100% that it was Sebastian taking out the trash when
or Thursday or Friday when I last saw or heard from my son.
Yeah, I
and that's Chris and Katie, in their own words, literally complaining about you, saying you didn't feel comfortable that was, that was proof of life. But yet here's Nerdy literally trying to quote fact, saying all 3 caregivers confirm that 100% that's Sebastian taking out the trash. It's just such nonsense. But yeah. And then he doubles down, or not doubles down, then he also talks about him hiding behind a neighbor's vehicle and playing flashlight tag. Apparently he had friends in this neighborhood that he did that with, according to Nerdy Addict, who obviously all this is being filtered, or not filtered, but coming from really the stink feet. Nerdy Addict, I don't know who the person actually is. I just know he's like a social media influencer. I know he covers a lot of cases and stuff. In other cases, I followed him. It's just disappointing to see this because I've seen some of his stuff where he's done some really great work, and it's just amazing when anybody gets close to the stink feet, how people change. It's crazy. But yeah, all this, you know who's behind the curtain. It's no surprise. But we're always thinking of Sebastian Rogers. And I know I have his flyer here. Put up his flyer before we go. Went a little bit longer than I wanted it to. Jesus. There we go. That's where I wanted to end on. But anyway, there's his flyer there, of course. Yeah, Bullhorn. Yeah, right. Yeah, and it's a shame because I used to. You know what? I don't know if you remember Jay for Justice when you guys were outside of the Laundry's home. She had bought like everybody there like coffee and donuts or something like that, and you know, there's some other things, and again, of course, this is years ago, and again, I watched her stuff, as I was starting my stuff up. And it's just a shame, like especially with this case.
And guys, I also watched Jays for Justice during Gabby Petito. Seth Rogers says, just like KP saying the FBI cleared up the trash video, which never happened either. When I asked for proof of life from Sumner County, they showed me the Texas Roadhouse. Boom. Thanks, Seth.
See right there. See, just like Seth Rogers said. Sorry, Sebastian. We'll leave on this point, and then we'll head out. In the FBI, you would think, because according to Katie, in that interview, with Chloe, or not Chloe, excuse me, Heather, they literally say, "Oh, the FBI cleared it up and confirmed that it's Sebastian taking out the trash." Yeah, here's the FBI with a timeline and a summary, and right here in between them going in to have dinner and then returning home, no mention of, hey, there's confirmed sighting of Sebastian Rogers taking out a trash can. This is from the FBI. There is no mention. There should be in between this paragraph or extended paragraph in between these sentences. You would think the FBI would put in probably one of the most important pieces of information, if true, the last known sighting of Sebastian. It is not in here. I wonder why. Yeah, I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. But thank you so much, Noel. I appreciate it. Usually we don't, I don't like to go after the nonsense because I know some of this, they're just trying to distract us and whatever, and not keep us from spending time actually looking at scenarios and, whatnot. But again, I wanted to address it because it's clear, obviously, they even admit where it comes, who the true source is, which is Chris, which is no surprise. It's just disgusting, really. But with that, I'm going to head out. I got not a big storm, but it's kind of loud out here. But I just wanted to say thank you to everybody coming in. If you can, hit that like button if you haven't already. Again, prayers for Seth. I hope you get closure, or you get your son back. If anybody has information, there's the number to call. Oops. Yeah, right there. Kind of got it cut off there. I'm working on another thing to send over to the FBI. I have another person that reached out that has some really good breakdown bullet points that I might add into that. Maybe we get together. But yeah, I'm not going to stop. I don't want to bug them, but on occasion I'm going to send them stuff. So.
Okay, guys, so I think that's pretty much it. And, shout out and thank you so much to Mob Crew for sharing the information that you have. It's tough, guys, because we do get sent a lot of, different sources and things like that. Excuse me, a lot of information from different sources. Excuse me. I said that a little backwards, but we receive a lot of information, and we can't always just put out everything on blast, right? Or we have to bide our time until we can put it on blast, right? And with that, I do want to move over because I do have to get to bed here and really quick, and I know it's hard because I'm always wired after my live streams, but Devlin Tait is still missing, right? And I have been working with his mom. We've been trying to gather information and all that good stuff. Hold on a second, guys. Let me put me someplace over here. There we go. And Devlin Tait is missing from Lake Odessa, Michigan. He went missing April 21st, 2025, and he has been missing for almost 6 months or 5 months, going on six, right? As we're approaching the 21st of this month. And, I think that there is a lot in Devlin's victimology that we are going to be getting into. But even most recently, I've become aware of some pretty foul language that was used towards Devlin. Now, abuse comes in many forms, right? You have physical, mental, emotional, you have SA, right? All of these different types and forms. I mean, you can even have financial abuse, right? Where somebody controls all the finances and doesn't give you any money, or treats you like, you give them all of your money and on your paycheck, and you feel like you should because you're married and things like that. Yeah, Christy, that was perfect. Katie is a chicken shit. Brock, Katie, Brock. She's a little chicken shit. She doesn't ever want to talk. She wants to act like she's Little Miss Perfect over there and Little Miss Tame, and she's very manipulative. And I'm seeing that as well in the case with Devlin, that, everybody has a bit of manipulation, right? It's like, you know, everybody has that. If there's something that you want, right? Um, you might try to manipulate a situation to get it, or whatever. But when people are in a position where they're being looked at because of a missing child going missing from their care, they were the last one with them, they were the last one that saw them, that sort of thing. um you really look at their mannerisms, their body language, and how they're putting themselves out there, what they're doing. And in my opinion, the people that are close to Devlin um didn't treat him very nice, right? There was a lot going on there. So we're just trying to get to the bottom of that. But Devlin went missing the morning of April 21st, 2025, according to the last time he was tracked on Life 360. It was 9:30 a.m. So it's been alleged that there was footage of Devlin at Carl's Market at 8:21 a.m. And then he used his bridge card, which is his food card for EBT, and he purchased something to eat and something to drink from Carl's, and then he headed over to Laco Laundry to charge his cell phone, where he was said to have talked to his brother, adopted brother Matt, for about 30 minutes, and then he was Life 360 tracked to around the area of a local Family Dollar. But the odd thing is that Devlin was on foot, and the first place he was said to have gone that morning was to Family Dollar so that he could turn in some recyclables. Welcome back, Lori. Um, yeah, yeah, definitely send me screenshots, Nero V. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, I sure can, Scranton. Give me 1 second. I will surely do that. Give me 1 second here. Just bear with me. Because, yeah, so Devlin used to like to go to a place called Bob's Barn. right? Bob's Barn Jams, and he used to like to get up there and sing. And so there was a part in there where he's talking to the audience and telling everybody at Bob's about his phone situation. So just bear with me here. I don't want live videos. I just want videos. Okay, so here we go. I think this is the one. All right, just bear with me here. This is the one. Okay. Here we go. All right, guys. This is 3:30:25, and the one in the red is from 4:13:25, and Devlin went missing then. Excuse me, Devlin went missing then on 4. Oops, sorry. Hold on, guys. I said that wrong. So this is from Bob's Barn Jams, and it's from April 13th, 2025, and then subsequently Devlin goes missing 4/21/25. And here we go.
This one old still there's a golden road to a whole lot of nothing. The deed to the land, but it ain't my gun. This is God's country. During the rain and think it's when it's falling, kids brings it rain and a whole lot of money. Put it back in the plate. That's why I call it God's country. Saw the light in a sunrise, sitting back on the 40 on a muddy riverside, and baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs running. Heaved by the sound of a band found Dixie whistled in the wind that would get you heaven bound. The devil went down to Georgia, but he didn't stick around. This is God's country. Been working till the week's been bad on Sunday and do it all again. I want to be from God's country. Sun would light in the sunrise, sitting back on the 40 on a muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs running. Saved by the sound of a band found Dixie whistled in the wind that will get you heaven bound. Devil went down to Georgia, but he didn't stick around. This is God's country. And this is where the part that when I was recording the one song that the dude was singing, it went black. That's what's been going on with my phone lately. So if it messes up, I'm sorry. There's times that I have to even restart my phone lately. It's been doing it ever since I dropped it on 5th Ave and broke the screen. No, it hasn't done this lately until yesterday. I don't have the money right now to fix it. Yeah. So it looks like I might not even be able to do it because I'm not even able to go to the home screen or nothing.
Give it a try.
Yep. If I get it fixed by the end of the week, maybe it will work. But right now, I don't know. I actually didn't get this from the AT&T store. I got this right down here at Family Dollar. So
That's probably part of the reason too.
I've been told.
I tried though.
Okay, guys, so that's Devlin, and he used to like to go down there and sing. He liked to go to buddies on the beach and sing karaoke. He was very well known. He is very well known, I should say, in the community. And for him to get up there and for him to express himself and have that confidence. Oh man, I mean, usually people have to have a couple drinks to get up and do karaoke or something like that, but Devlin really enjoyed music and he had his own band. Yeah, and I did play some music in the background for him too. But he was up there, doing what he liked to do. So yeah, thanks guys for showing Devlin love in the chat. And I mean it's important to understand, who Devlin is and what he liked to do. He was very much, you know, a part of the community. And in my opinion, it was a rough go at home. I'm trying to figure out more on that and understand more. I know that Devlin also has a rare chromosome deletion, actually the same chromosome deletion that Sebastian had. So the Q627 chromosome deletion. And it also had autism. And, he also has cerebral palsy. It's been reported. So, Devlin was dealing with a lot himself. And then he was kind of butting heads at home with his adoptive family. And I'm trying to find more about that, Yeah, because it's tough, Little Red. It's tough to trust anything people are saying in this case, especially because, that things have changed so frequently. They really have. And I'm going to play this next clip. I'm not sure if it's a part of the other call or not. So I'm just going to put a disclaimer up and say that I'm not sure if Sabrina, host, cook, she goes by both, has actually did have those active bonds or bails. But I do want to share this with you guys because I know a lot of you guys aren't as familiar with the case, and I'm glad that you guys are in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this video for you so you can see more about the contradictions in the story. And again, I'm just pointing out what I'm observing. This is not, to upset anybody, but it's just me pointing out my opinion, what I'm observing in these videos. And this is audio from the scanners on April 21st, 2025. So, and here we go.
3416, copy a call. Good. It's going to be 1855 Oak Ridge Drive, across of Walnut Lane. Caller is Sabrina Cook. She called to report her nephew missing. She's sitting on Legos and walks around Lake Odessa during the day, but is normally home around 7 o'clock. He hasn't been seen since 7 o'clock this morning. Was heard from around 8:15. Lake Odessa. The Lake Odessa officer is aware and is looking around the village.
Anything like this would happen.
A family in Lake Odessa looking for answers tonight after their loved one disappeared. Devlin Tait.
Okay, guys, Devlin Tait. And so I just want to pop this up really quick, just for anybody who's new to this case. We have the Tait family. We have Devlin's family tree. Devlin's in the middle. He's a cutie pie right there. We have Sandra and Bill Tait, who adopted Devlin when he was a baby, right? His mother, Jessica, was married to Timothy Hatfield, and his bio father, according to Jessica, is Adam Nolan. But she was with Tim, and she did marry Tim shortly after Devlin was born. And Tamra is Tim's mom, right? And then Tamra's daughter is Sabrina. And then you have her boyfriend, who's William Hartman, their little baby. He's really cute, cute little baby. And then his 18-year-old son there. So the people that were living in the house with Devlin were it's Tamara's house, right? And then you have her daughter who was there too. We also have Will Hartman and the baby, right? The 18-year-old Christian didn't move in until after Devlin went missing, according to what Tamara has told me. One of the last people to speak with Devlin is Matt Tait, right? To our knowledge, he's the last one, and that is Matt Tait. He is Devlin's adopted brother, right? Because when Sandra and Bill, so it goes like this: Devlin is born to Jessica, and Tim, to my knowledge, did sign the birth certificate, according to both sides, right? So it would have made Devlin Tamara's, Tamara would be the grandma to Devlin. But when Sandra and Bill took over custody, right? And I do have a Michigan document to show all of that, but we're not going to get into that tonight. We have Sandra and Bill who become the mom and dad. So then subsequently, Tamara is his sister, right? And then Matt is his brother. And then there's Gordon and Elton are the two other Tait men in the family, sons of Sandra and Bill, right? But the key people, and another daughter of Tamara's is Ashley, right? So and the reason I put her on there is because there were some pretty nasty text messages that we had shared. So that's Devlin's family. That's how he kind of looks at them, right? But yeah, to answer your question, Joe, Devlin does have a very soft-spoken, kind of more of a feminine voice. As a matter of fact, sometimes when he couldn't get a hold of his mom right away, Jessica told me that the police would do a wellness check, and they would say, your daughter's calling, and she's like, no, that's actually my son. And so, because they'd say a girl in Michigan, and she'd say, no, that's my son Devlin, right? That was talking. But his interest was in girls, because I saw his Instagram messages where he was, trying to, holler at a girl, So yeah, he's straight to my knowledge. Matt and his brother was in the chat and said that he's straight as well. So.
An 18-year-old with special needs was last seen on April 21st in Lake Odessa. Now, 8 days later, he has yet to be found. News 10's Mmmkay Nikki sat down with his family tonight. She joins us now live in studio with details.
And Devlin Tait was last seen wearing a black zip-up hoodie, t-shirt, blue jeans, and cowboy boots. He's just shy of 19, but his family said he is much younger mentally. They're asking anyone with information to come forward to help bring him back home.
Even I break.
Oh, I know. I've broke quite a few times.
Something that can't be helped.
It's something Tamara Host and Sabrina Cook say they never thought would happen in their small community of Lake Odessa.
It's heartbreaking, not knowing where he's at or how he is.
On April 21st, their loved one, Devlin Tait, vanished.
It's just important for us to find him because we love him. And it's not like him to be gone for so long.
He was last seen at Carl's supermarket, and ever since his disappearance, the family has been working hand in hand with law enforcement and have even taken to social media in search of answers, hoping someone comes forward with information. They've even conducted search parties.
I'm not gonna stop looking. I'm not gonna give up because it's not who I am, for one, and for two, I have a strong devotion to my nephew.
Devlin may be just shy of 19 years old, but his family says he's much younger mentally. He's diagnosed with cerebral palsy, ADHD, Tourette's, and fetal alcohol syndrome, and is without his vital medication.
Okay, guys, so I just want to stop off right here, and I just said, that's a lot of different issues. And so I just went ahead and, ask Google, is it common to have, or is it possible to have, all of these different issues, right? And what Google said is it's not possible to calculate a precise probability for a single individual to have all 5 conditions: chromosomal deletion, autism, cerebral palsy, Tourette syndrome, and fetal alcohol syndrome. Each of these conditions is complex and their causes are largely independent of one another. The probability of one person having all 5 is exceptionally low, representing a series of extremely rare and largely unrelated events, right? Like, for example, autism, a chromosome deletion is going to be something that would have a high comorbidity, right? But chromosome deletion is something that is genetic, right? So just to kind of put that into perspective, if you do Google it, y'all, Scranton, if you guys will do Google it, it gives a better, analysis on it. But the short answer is it's really impossible to calculate that, but it's extremely low possibility or probability of representing a series of, because it's all representing a series of rare and largely unrelated events, right? So no emotion, no emotion. You'll see a little bit more here coming up. But I just always pause when I see a whole bunch of different rare and, unrelated illnesses in a child. And Matt Tait did send me over this paperwork because he was saying that, and they're going to push this over and over again, that Devlin has fetal alcohol syndrome, but you can see as we go through that it's more or less them trying to just really hammer away at it, and they didn't have any proof, right, of Devlin's actual diagnosis, right, or diagnoses, right? So, and here's what they sent me over, right? And this is a referral, right? Dear Dr. Roser, thank you for your referral of your patient Devlin Lee Tait to Spectrum Health Medical Genetics, right? So they're taking him to a geneticist, and Devlin was seen on 11/20/2019, right? He was 13 and a half years old, and they wanted a consultation over here at this geneticist. Uh, Yet many of the ailments that they're listing for Devlin have nothing to do with genetics, right? Like fetal alcohol syndrome would be something that would happen if a mother had drank while she was pregnant. And that's what they're trying to pin on Jessica, in my opinion. I don't see any proof of that in this. What I see here is that Devlin Lee Tait, 13 and a half-year-old male, was presented for a consultation at Spectrum Health Medical Genetics Clinic on 11/20/2019. At the request of Dr. Roser, right? Devlin is accompanied by his adoptive parents, Sandy and Bill Tait, right? History today was proven by his parents. No interpreter was required. Devlin's parents today for an evaluation, Devlin presents today for an evaluation of intellectual disabilities, ADHD, Tourette syndrome, autism spectrum disorder, and a reported prenatal alcohol exposure. Devlin has previous diagnosis of fetal alcohol syndrome. We are being asked to consider an underlying genetic disorder in addition to the fetal alcohol syndrome diagnosis. So this is all what Sandy and Bill had been asking for. And Mark Paul, MD, is the certifier of this, right? But it doesn't prove any diagnoses, right? The history for present concern: Devlin Lee Tait's current symptoms include the following. Devlin has a known exposure to drugs and alcohol during pregnancy. Now we have drugs also listed. Interesting. Good morning, Faye. And so that's added on, right? He also has intellectual disability, ADHD, Tourette syndrome, and autism spectrum disorder. His past medical history, Devlin's medical history was obtained and reviewed, past medical history, diagnosis, and then it gives, all the doctors. But this is one of 7 pages, and I didn't receive anything except for this one page. So, in all fairness, I wanted to present what was given to me and let you all decide.
Somebody out there has to know something, and they're just not coming forward. I wish they would.
Every day that passes is another day the family is left wondering where he is and if he's safe, saying they won't stop until he's back at home where he belongs.
There's power in prayer. We got a lot of people praying.
The family is offering a $1,000 reward for finding Devlin. Right now, the Ionia County Sheriff's Office says there's no updates on the case, but they are accepting leads. If you know anything about where Devlin might be, contact local law enforcement. Ann?
All right, Amaya, thank you. The family is selling signs and T-shirts. They say profits will go toward what is now a $1,000 reward. For more information, visit our website.
A family in Lake Odessa is searching for answers tonight after their loved one vanished over a week ago. The county sheriff's office there says 18-year-old Devlin Tait went missing on April 21st. Devlin's family, you say they're holding out hope that he'll come home safe and unharmed.
He's never been gone this long.
It's been over a week since 18-year-old Devlin Tait went missing in Lake Odessa.
Just a lot of frustration, not knowing where he's at, if he's okay or not.
With nothing but questions, Devlin's family say it's been a difficult 9 days, not knowing where he is or if he's safe.
I feel lost. Frustrated that we don't have anything.
Devlin is a familiar face here in downtown Lake Odessa, where he would spend a lot of his time. His family says his last known location was at Carl's Market here downtown. That was back on April 21st, and he hasn't been seen since.
He bought some groceries while he was there, and there hasn't been any activity on his bridge card since.
Devlin's aunt Sabrina describing April 21st as a normal day. She says she did not notice anything out of the ordinary with his behavior, making the disappearance even more confusing.
We never suspected anything. He's normally home by anywhere between 6 and 8 o'clock, and when he wasn't, I started calling him. Went straight to voicemail. And when 10 o'clock hit, when his curfew was he was supposed to be home, and he wasn't home, I came searching.
3416, copy your call. Good. It's going to be 1855 Oak Ridge Drive, cross of Walnut Lane. Caller is Sabrina Cook. She called to report her nephew missing. She said he normally goes and walks around Lake Odessa during the day, but normally home around 7 o'clock. He hasn't been seen since 7 o'clock this morning. Was I heard from around 8:15. The Lake Odessa officer is aware and is looking around the village, but if you could check the area as well. Okay. Also be advised, the aunt and said that he's got a friend, Joni Sowers, who lives in a trailer park. There's a possible address for her in the notes as well. Okay. 2232 6436, your status? Clearance suspending, 2232. 22 from Central. Go ahead. I ran her caller. She's got a couple of pair bonds out of Ionia County. 2232. 3416 from 395.
Okay, guys, and I don't know if that was her having pair bonds or not. I can't decipher whether it's a part of the call or not. Just want to put that out there.
But I can head over to 47 Mandy and check out that address, if that works with you. Yeah, that'd be great, thanks. Sure, 2247. I want to go check the address 47 Mandy. 47 Mandy no longer exists. I am going to go down to the auction barn Let's see if he's over there. I'm clear, 2259. 3416. Go ahead, sir. Come on over to 6 Keisha Court in the back. That's the park with me. I might have them located here. Hey, sir. Clear 2342. Central 46-3. 46-3. Back in. 2350. 16. Can you try and call Devlin's phone number, please? 3416 from Central. Good. It's going straight to voicemail. Okay, thanks.
We never suspected anything. He's normally home by anywhere between 6 and 8 o'clock, and when he wasn't.
Right. And so she, again, I played this part again, guys. I deliberately wanted to play this again because here's Sabrina saying on, day 8, right? April 30th. That's when this aired. She's telling the news that he's usually home between 6 and 8, but she told the dispatch on that day when she reported Devlin missing, April 27th, that he's usually home by he's usually home by 7. His curfew, mind you, wasn't until 10 o'clock.
I started calling him, went straight to voicemail. And when 10 o'clock hit, when his curfew he was supposed to be home, and he wasn't home, I came searching.
His family says he's diagnosed with cerebral palsy, autism, Tourette's, and fetal alcohol syndrome, and is without his necessary medication. But their love and determination to bring him home has not stopped, turning to law enforcement, social media, and the community for help, holding out hope for a positive conclusion.
We're hoping and praying that anyone with any information at all that'll lead to his whereabouts will let us know, that they'll get a hold of us.
My gut hurts every time I think. I try not to think of every possibility that could be happening or that where he could be, and it makes my gut hurt.
In Lake Odessa, Adriana Doria, News 8.
New tonight, the family of a missing Lake Odessa teenager is hoping someone knows where he is. Devlin Tait was last seen April 21st on surveillance video at Carl's Market downtown.
Yeah, Devlin's family says his disappearance has been a complete shock, and they're hoping someone can help bring him home.
Heartbreaking and gut-wrenching.
That's how 18-year-old Devlin Tait's family describes the past week and a half.
Our family is going through a living hell that I wouldn't wish on nobody.
It was supposed to be just another Monday. Devlin, a routine walker, left home for a trip to the store, but this time he never returned.
I didn't think anything of it really until like 10 o'clock hit, and then I was like super worried, especially when I went to places and couldn't find him. Then my heart just sank.
Sabrina Cook says her nephew was last seen the morning of April 21st on surveillance video at Carl's Market in downtown Lake Odessa. He's 6 feet tall, weighs 170 pounds, and was wearing a black sweatshirt, white t-shirt, jeans, and cowboy boots.
He's got a goofy personality, brown hair.
He's well known in the community. He frequents Buddies on the Beach, Carl's, Penny's Pizzeria, the laundromat.
Devlin is diagnosed with autism, cerebral palsy, Tourette's, and fetal alcohol syndrome. He's now been without his critical medication for over a week. His family is working closely with police, but with no solid leads. They're asking the public to check security cameras and report anything that could help. With his 19th birthday just weeks away, his family is holding on to hope that he'll soon be found.
Devlin's birthday is in 25 days, and I hope that he's home before then. We can only hope that he's still alive, that he's okay.
And if you have any information about Devlin, you're asked to contact the Ionia County Sheriff. Juliet.
Devlin, if you can hear this, we love you, we miss you. Just at least let us know that you're okay.
40 days without answers after a Lake Odessa teen vanished. The Ionia County Sheriff's Office says 19-year-old Devlin Tait was last seen on April 21st. News 8's Adriana Doria spoke with Devlin's family as their search for answers continues.
Still lost.
Definitely. It's gut-wrenching, not knowing.
The search for Devlin Tait continues, and his family's cry for help.
Still worried. My thoughts and emotions still have not changed. I'm still thinking that there's more to this situation than what's actually being said.
Monday, May 26th was Devlin's 19th birthday. His family spent it without him as they entered day 40 after his disappearance.
I'm lost at which way to look.
Devlin's cousin and sister say that Devlin was last seen on surveillance video at Carl's Market downtown. They say he's diagnosed with cerebral palsy, autism, Tourette's, and fetal alcohol syndrome, making his disappearance even more concerning.
It's not like Devlin to go this long without communication. It's not like Devlin to
Not even be on social media at all.
And not only that, but not to, whether it be with us or to my grandma, but to at least reach out.
In the days and weeks since his disappearance, Sabrina and Tamara have taken to the community, law enforcement, and social media for answers. They have fundraised enough money to offer a $6,000 reward for anyone who helps bring him home.
And Devlin, if you can hear this, we love you. We miss you. Just at least let us know that you're okay.
Sabrina says as the time goes by, it's been hard to move on, not knowing if Devlin is safe and okay.
So I start 2 jobs this week, and I feel like I'm doing wrong because I feel like I'm moving on with my life without him. And I feel like I'm not supposed to.
So now they are holding out hope for a positive outcome, hoping to see Devlin home again soon.
Hoping that he'll knock on the door. Let him in. Or he'll come walking through the door when it's open. We want the prayers to keep pouring in for him and the support. Everybody knew him, and the list goes on.
And we all miss him.
It's been over a month since a Lake Odessa teenager went missing and still no answers for the family.
Devlin Tait turned 19 Monday. His family said it was a difficult day without him. The Ionia County Sheriff's Office says that Devlin was last seen April 21st. He was seen on surveillance video at Carl's Market in Lake Odessa.
Since his disappearance, Devlin's family continues to search and fundraise to bring him home. They're offering a $6,000 reward. The Ionia County Sheriff's Office says they're following all leads they get and are concerned for Devlin's well-being. Now it's day 40 without Devlin, and they're hoping that someone comes forward with information.
It's just hard. It really is. Somebody knows something and nobody's giving anything up. And obviously somebody knew, somebody's talked to him, somebody's seen him, helped him, something.
Devlin is 6 feet tall and about 170 pounds. Anyone with information about his whereabouts is asked to contact the Sheriff's Office or Silent Observer.
Okay, guys. So, yes, Ava, she did say that she would let him in if he knocked on the door. She did say that. And I just want to, show you guys the screenshot of Sabrina, even though she's like fake crying here, in
And
my
I feel like I'm
opinion.
not
She's also stating that she's living her best life, right? And she did move to Lansing, Michigan. So, and we did get a little bit more insight into that too, Kiki, because Tamara was nice enough to come in here and talk, and say her side of things the other night. So, um, well, and I do have some pictures because I know, like even Carrie was saying about the scratches on Will Hartman's face. And of course, I want to show those, and I want you guys to look at those too. I have a lot to share, still yet, but I kind of wanted to get everybody familiar with the story. But she moved away, Elisa P, after she allegedly stole the reward money, and she used it to fix her truck and bail her boyfriend out of jail, and then apparently maybe some of it. I don't know. I will say that Sabrina is known to do odd jobs too. So I don't know if she, made some money on top of that as well. I'm sure she did if she said she was starting a couple new jobs. Um, yeah, and her boyfriend's nowhere to be seen. Yeah. I think there's guilty knowledge. I definitely think there's guilty knowledge. Yeah, in there, yeah. And I agree with that too, Elisa P, just their faces, right? And it's very suspicious, and especially when we see Sabrina smirking and stuff like that, because you don't typically. Now, we've talked about it here before, when it comes to people, and they will smile or laugh at inappropriate times, and they are being interviewed by the news. Not everybody's. used to that. I would probably bet a couple bucks to say that this is their first time that they've been interviewed, are these interviews that we're seeing here. Now, there was one, or the two of them were from April 30th, the first two, right? And then they didn't get interviewed again until May 1st and then May 30th, and there's been nothing else. Mr. and Mrs. E did a podcast on Devlin a couple of months ago, and then Jay, actually, Tammy called into Jay and talked to her there. So I'm kind of working on getting that stuff out as well. But that's where we learn why Devlin was really, at the laundromat, is because he was charging his phone up there. So yeah, I mean, it definitely looks that way. It definitely works that way, or it looks like, that way. Um, yeah, she works odd jobs, Sam. She works odd jobs. So, um, I don't know, I mean, her boyfriend lives with her, to my knowledge. They're still together, because they have that little baby together, and the little boy is really cute. Um, so well, and I also I've heard a voice clip of Devlin talking about Sabrina trying to get guardianship over him to Carrie Jackson, that I haven't been able to, put into a video yet. But I'm kind of trying to go in chronological order, so in order for me to make a video and show everybody um, what was going on. So it's just me compiling all the evidence. And it's been yeah, it was alleged by Matt, according to Matt Tait, Tamara evicted Christian shortly after Devlin went missing. Christian, who is Will Hartman's son, Sabrina's boyfriend's son, he's 18, about, I think, that's what I've heard. He's about 18 years old. And of course, I don't look into kids. You know what I'm saying, guys? Because I mean, I get he's an adult. At this point, he's 18, but I still kind of look at him like a kid. Same thing with Devlin. I know he turned 19 when he was missing, but I still call him a kid because he is to me. But I will say that Christian, moved in after Devlin went missing, and then Tamara was gonna evict him for, I'm sure she had her reasons, but we don't know why, right? I'm not sure, because I haven't asked her about that even. I mean, she talked about it a little bit the other night, because I know people were asking her in the chat, but nothing, definitive. She said that they didn't have a good relationship at all, like in terms of Will Hartman just stayed back in the room and didn't, interact with Devlin very much, according to what Tamara was saying. But I've talked to one of Devlin's really close friends, and she let me know that, Tim Hartman wasn't very nice to Devlin, and that was her view on things. And, I mean, like I told her, I was really grateful to have her feedback and for her to talk with me because, you know, we've all been kids ourselves, and even my daughter, I know that she would share things with her friends that she would never, share with me, right? Or she would wait until things were getting pretty bad and then she'd share it because she knows that I would, handle it. You don't just let that stuff go on, especially when your kids are being, abused. It's tough though, because sometimes you have a screwed up system that allows for it to happen. And they just kept on letting Devlin live over with this family. You know, I don't know that they should have, in my opinion, I don't know that Devlin should have ever been with this family, especially some of the things that we're going to go over. Um, I just don't see why he wouldn't have been, you know, sent over to somebody. You know what I mean? Like someone who would love him and care for him and give him what he needs and, make sure that he has the proper therapies and things like that. Because, that's one thing that I hear about Devlin is he's very smart, and it just takes a little bit of extra help, right? For all of us. I mean, anything that we can't do, if we keep trying at it, eventually we'll get it. I mean, we have to be realistic with ourselves. But I mean, it's like when we're little and we're learning how to write cursive, I mean, I don't know if they even write cursive in school anymore, but they did when I was little. And it was like all about getting your penmanship down. So what would you do? You would practice it and practice it and practice it. It's just like any other kid, but see, these kids just need a little bit of extra help. They need some compassion, they need some care. And I don't think that Devlin was getting that. I think it was like, what have you done for me lately? In my opinion. And I don't like that. Because again, we're talking about a kid, and it sounds like, even the other young man, I don't know what he was doing, Will's son. I don't know. I wasn't there. And really I'm just interested in finding out what happened to Sebastian, or excuse me, Sebastian, Devlin. I'm just worried about finding out what happened to him. And I'm not trying to look into the kids as much until, I have a reason to. There we go. I'm finally in the right spot. But, you know, yeah, Devlin needed to learn some life skills. And it's hard to do that when, people are being unfair with you. And in my opinion, it's unfair to make Devlin, buy groceries when he's not going to be home and things like that. I don't know. Her letter was beautiful, Carrie Jackson. Yeah, I almost lost it reading her letter because, I mean, what a good friend she is. And there's people out there that are such good friends with Devlin that are missing him a lot, right? And sometimes, yeah, it seems to me that Devlin was a kid that would call a lot and things like that. But it just seems like I'm sure people miss that now, even if it was kind of a little bit of a nuisance. But he's just a loving kid and he wanted to talk to his people, he was checking in with his peeps. In my opinion, Detroit Rock City says who was giving him his meds to make sure he was taking them properly? Was he dosing himself? When was his last doctor's appointment? Who was overseeing his medical care? Those are all great questions, Detroit. And I know they talked a little bit about it. Like Matt said, he had a lockbox for his medication. And I'm gonna go through all of those and just because I do have them. And a special shout out to Chuchi too. She's been like super sleuthing and just really great work getting over all of the correspondence and things to me. It's helped tremendously. When I talked to Jessica earlier today, she asked me to thank Chuchi on the air because she said, if I can't make it in there, just make sure that she knows thank you. And then also, guys, we did get the United Cajun Navy to look into Devlin's case, and they have the capabilities of searching the waters, and there's lots of water in Lake Odessa. So make sure that we're all praying um, for Devlin, and praying for the United Cajun Navy and praying that they will be able to help and at least ease Jessica's mind, even ease Tamara's mind, ease whoever's mind that doesn't have anything to do with any of this on the other on in his family, of his friends, right? That at least he's not in the water, right? Because there's a lot of water around there and it's a scary thought, and we need them to be searching. So absolutely pray for the United Cajun Navy and everyone involved here, and pray for Devlin's protection. That's what we have to do. um you know I know Elisa P, I understand that feeling as well. Elisa P says, I'm sorry to say, but something was definitely done to Devlin and covered up. He wouldn't just stop calling his friends. Right, and he called his mama, like he calls uh Sandy, who's in the green shirt, he's giving her a hug. That's his adoptive mom, right? But he also calls Jessica mama too, because I have a text message for, back and forth, and he says, "Hey mama, it's Devlin." Right? So he had two mamas that he called all the time. At certain times he would call them. They do have a duty to get this case moving, and EquiSearch can't do anything. According to Tamara, she did reach out. I know for a fact that Jessica reached out, and they have to be invited by Ionia County. But I don't think that there was a strong enough push, and I think if the family or if Ionia County sheriffs know that EquiSearch would come out if they were invited, maybe that might be another good option. Um, but I do know that Jessica's working hard with the United Cajun Navy. So, Carrie Jackson says, would like to know also what church Devlin went to on Easter. Was it Lake Odessa or Hastings where Sandra lived? That's a good question. To my knowledge, it was one in Lake Odessa. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that, Joe. I do remember you quizzing Matt about Devlin's medical care. I wasn't blown away. Well, me neither. And I don't think anybody really was caring about what kind of medical care Devlin needed. I think they were more worried about trying to get, control over his finances, in my opinion. That's what it really seems like, especially when I hear Devlin in his own words. It's coming from his own words you know yeah, he needs to be found, Elisa P. He's just a sweet kid, and he doesn't deserve this. And the Life 360 was on the phone of the girlfriend. Her name's Marie. Zach Thompson's girlfriend had him on Life 360 over by the Family Dollar. So, oh, I have a list of his chores, Detroit Rock City. I just have to get them together. I know that there was a list that was given to me by Tamara that I was going to share, and then also Jessica had a list of them that was sent over to her. Um, and I agree. And what Tamara told me was that he had to feed the animals outside. He had to take out the trash. He had to um, clean up his dishes and things like that. Um, but I know, and that's the thing. They were cutting off his resources. In my opinion, that's electric and things like that. I know, and I feel sorry for I just feel sorry for the kids who are autistic, because I just think that a lot of times people underestimate them, and they don't give them the exposure that they deserve. I don't know if that's a good question, Faye. I don't know if Christian was working with Sabrina and Will that day, or if he works with his dad. Yeah, Carrie Jackson says, why was it 2 days before missing that Jessica talked to Devlin? Yeah, I mean, they need more education on it. I do agree with that too, Elisa P. Also, Sabrina used him by pushing him in a chair days before he went missing. Yeah. Yeah, and that happened excuse me, that altercation happened on April 16th, I believe. 16th or 17th. I'd have to double check. But, but I will say, Elisa P, we went over the SAR maps, and the SAR maps were very well labeled and stuff like that, but it was other searchers that went out, So, um, but yeah, I'm hoping that he's found soon, guys, and we're gonna stay on top of this. Like I said, I'm working on getting another video pushed out. Tomorrow it's gonna be like a 3-hour car ride, so I'll have some time to get that done and put out for you guys so you guys can watch that. And then of course, we're gonna keep on going with Sebastian's interviews, or excuse me, Katie and Chris Proudfoot's interviews about Sebastian as well. But I won't be on tomorrow because I don't know what time we're going to be leaving that island, and then a 3-hour drive. I'm not sure what time I'll even be home tomorrow. But I will see you guys back for the Monster Mash Monday during the day show, and then we'll have a night show Monday night. And I'll share some details too about Pig Fest, because I am doing like a fundraiser, and how it's going to work is that once I get to Pig Fest, and thank you to everyone who has given to the cause of going there, because it's an unexpected trip, or I never would have I never would ask for money for it. I would just save up for it and go. But it is unexpected. So just asking for a little bit of help here. But you guys have been great. And I think we're up to 150 and the goal was 400. So, I mean, that's really good. And like I said, I appreciate everyone. Yeah, I will, Carrie. I'm going to live stream it, and so I'm be live streaming it as we go and documenting everything. I really want to make sure I have enough money for gas and everything, and to get over to the Texas Roadhouse, because I really want to film it for you guys. I'd even like maybe to go live at the Texas Roadhouse, but I'm going to do a giveaway, and we're going to do a pick a number. So whoever's in the chat, right, we're going to do a pick a number 1 to 200 or whatever, because I usually get, I think, about 100. I've got up to about 200 in here. So we'll do something like that. But yeah, Detroit, I've never been to Key Largo. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Pig Fest is in Hendersonville, Tennessee, Carrie. And it's a big event. It's a 3-day event. They have a steak dinner the one night, and then they have music, and they're doing a wrestling thing this year, which is interesting. But it's all to benefit 4 different causes there locally. So, but they said that they didn't want anybody passing out flyers of Sebastian, and so we bought T-shirts with his missing information in it, on them, and we're gonna wear them. And I'm going to do ribbons too. So we're going to be doing ribbons next week as well, where, I'll just be live. You guys will be able to see me, and I'll be cutting ribbons, and we'll just be talking. And I want to make a special one for Seth, of course. And that's what it's about. What it's really about is me going there. What really upset me is, I'll show you guys this really quick, because I made a video and I realize it's still in here today. But this is Seth trying to get awareness about Sebastian. So let's watch. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here, coming at you with another raw narrative. All week this week, Seth Rogers will be out in front of Sumner County Sheriff's Office, once again being Sebastian's voice. He's looking for his son, Sebastian Rogers, and he is seeking out answers to find out where he is. are so many ways that we can stand together to help Seth. We can share out the flyers. We can contact our local news networks and ask them to share the story. We need to find Sebastian. We need to stand with Seth. So whatever it is you can do, if you want to buy Seth a coffee or send him a Cash App or PayPal, it'll be linked in the description below. Please help Seth in his quest to find answers, to find the truth, to find his son, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Okay, guys, so that was my video that I made of Seth when he was out there. And, then that very weekend, so he had been out there, Tuesday, I think, through Friday. And then that very weekend, Chris Proudfoot, Sebastian's stepfoot, right, went on and dressed up like Seth on Cluminati's channel, right? And then the very next day they go to um a reptile expo in Nashville, right? And I'm not faulting them for going to a reptile expo, but I just find it odd, that they would do something like that. And I don't want Seth to have to stand alone. That's our friend Jeff back there holding up a Justice for Sebastian sign. Jen, Astrology for Mystics with Jen was there. That's her husband, Jeff. Really good, great people, guys. And they were there standing with Seth. We also had our other friends standing with Seth, and I won't mention anybody's names because I don't want anybody, to feel like they're being outed, but who you are and you know what you've done. And I appreciate it so much because Seth needs us to stand with him, right? He needs people to stand beside him and let everybody know that Sebastian's still out there missing and that we're not going to stop until Sebastian's home, right? Right? Because the corruption cannot be condoned. So it's our duty as a community to stand up against things when we see that it's wrong, right? That's the only way that we can make a difference. So I'm going to be there. Uh, and like I said, again, thank you guys so much for everything, for always being here to talk about Sebastian, for being in here and listening about Devlin's case, because I know it's hard to take on new cases, but you guys have such big hearts that I know that you guys can handle more kids and more, it's like a big rubber band. You guys just, we add another kid to the list that we're looking for. Because again, Devlin also deserves to be found, and he hasn't had the kind of exposure that Sebastian has had, but that doesn't mean that he won't. I'm really hoping that all of the creators will get together and share out the information from Devlin or from my page or Kiki's page or what have you. And so I think it's going to be a great start for them to look back, especially because we did have Jessica on. I have invited the other family members up. I don't know if they will come on or not. We'll see. But I do know that, I don't want it to be like a big, you know, um, yelling match, or I don't want it to be a tit for tat up here, because um you know that's not going to help find Devlin. But if they're willing to come up here and answer questions pertaining to that day, absolutely. And like I said, Tamara's answered questions about that day. She's answered other questions as well. So if that's all they want to do is just through email, that's okay too, and I could read it. That's not a problem. at all, however we can do it, but we need to come together and try to find Devlin. And thanks, Mama, for a gallon of gas. Thank you. I know, a gallon, right? That's my biggest fear. I'm like, oh gosh, don't let me run out of gas. But no, I think it'd be good. I know, Miss Ann. And yeah, guys, please, if you can't, and I know Christmas is coming up, and that's another thing. So Joe, are you gonna get are you gonna get puking drunk and make a scene? No, Joe. Oh my gosh, do you know that would let me tell you about Sebastian. Oh gosh. Oh Lord, no. No, actually, I just want to represent Sebastian in the best way we can. You know what I mean? Uh, if there's a beer at Pig Fest, why not? But I mean, might take the edge off a little bit. But in the same way, I don't know, those places are like, $20 a beer. I probably I probably Joe. we'll turn I'll be turning into let's see if I still have Miss Hannigan over here. Oh yeah, I do. There's Miss Hannigan. That's hilarious. Oh man, Carol Burnett's the best drunk. She is just out of this world. I'll tell you what. But no, I think it's gonna be good, and I think it's gonna be something where, you know, um, there's just so many people that are gonna be there. If we can pass out the flyers, it's I think it'll be wonderful. And just also people seeing the shirts, right? People seeing the missing flyer on the back. And Sebastian's just so cute. He markets himself. People will be like, well, who is that kid? So, aw, Miss Anne. Yeah, so don't even worry about Carol Burnett. She's an Annie. She's so funny. That whole bathtub of moonshine. Oh my gosh. Oh, she is. And people that say women aren't funny, I'll tell you what, she's one of the funniest ones. And you know who else is hilarious is Joan Cusack. Um, she is just too funny. All right, guys. Well, I love you all so very, very much, and I will see you all Monday. And if I can get some island videos together, hopefully I can erase enough off my phone. But I'll try to upload an island video for you guys. All right, you guys all have a wonderful night, and I will see you Monday.